This one's easy. This one's easy. Week 4, buy lows all over your screen right now. Not everyone's going to be easily attainable, but I'm seeing people over and over get trades, buy lows that don't make any sense 3 weeks into football because people are fickle. People are overreactive. And we're here today, right here, right now, ready to change your fantasy football destiny. And it starts with these gentlemen on screen right now. The Fantasy Football Show Buy Low Week 4 edition begins right now. File on in.
FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show.
Live! Monday through Friday,
8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have quite a bit to talk about walking into your week number 4 on a Tuesday as we prepare you for your fantasy football glory, comebacks, dominations, continued domination. Some of you are actually dominating hardcore, and it's time for you to continue to do so. Some of you are struggling. A lot of us are struggling because we do a lot of leagues. Nobody, quite honestly, has a season where all 6 or 5 or 4 of their leagues are just crushing it because we diversify smartly. And so you're going to have some really good teams, some good teams, some bad teams. These are the players that can help turn your season around or put the nail in the coffin if you're already 2-1, 3-0, and you're looking fantastic. You've got guys like Kamara, CeeDee Lamb, Gibbs Hall. Yeah, you can say what you want about what they should have done, cry over spilled milk, or you could say to yourself, in leagues where I don't own these players, maybe it's time to take a stab, take a poke at these players, and figure out what's what, because they can be had pennies on the dollar. And again, stop looking to the past. The past doesn't matter. What happened in week 1 doesn't matter. What happened preseason doesn't matter. What we thought of some of these players, even players that are doing well, doesn't matter. We love Jordan Love. We scooped him up everywhere. Doesn't matter. He's got a new value right now. It's not as good as it should be because he struggled in the first 2 quarters of this game in week 3, and people started calling him cheeks and saying, man, this guy's trash. Can't believe I actually drafted him. I was getting DM after DM about how Jordan Love was going to absolutely, lose leagues. I can't believe I trusted this guy, Smitty. I can't believe you told me and sold me on Jordan Love. And this was after 2 quarters of football in the first half, Jordan Love, when he had already done amazingly in the first 2 seasons. What does he have? He has 6, 7, 8 touchdowns in 3 games. Is that correct? 8 touchdowns in 3 games, and people are complaining. Yeah, he didn't look great in the first 2 quarters, but Jordan Love came back strong, won this game, ended up scoring 2 touchdowns for you, 2 tutties, and everybody's complaining. He doesn't have his number 1 wide receiver, or really his number 2 wide receiver. He doesn't have either one of them, and people are complaining. Wait a minute, Smitty. He doesn't have Christian Watson. Who do you mean his other wide receiver? We're talking about Aaron Jones, who's probably maybe even his best receiver, his most trusted receiver. He's missing 2 of his best pass catchers and his number 1 running back, all in the same lump of 2 people. And everybody's sitting here saying Jordan Love this, Jordan Love that. Imagine how good he will be when this man, Jordan Love, and you want to put Dell on this list? I don't blame a single one of you. Even if Dell is already blowing up, you think you could get him low? I'm all for it. And the fact that he's still on waivers in a lot of leagues makes me think, you know what? He should be on this list as well, because you could trade for a waiver claim. You could trade for a guy that's just getting picked up. You could still buy low on Dell. There's nothing wrong with that. Gibbs and Hall, stop worrying about the past, start looking toward the future. And Bijan should be on here as well. Shame on me, because Bijan is cheap as can be right now comparatively to the preseason value we were looking at. Doesn't matter what you think of what you paid. Doesn't matter about any of that stuff, because at the end of the day, what you're doing is buying in today's fair market value. Selling in today's fair market value, week 4, entering week 4 has nothing to do with entering week 3. And the fact that, and the big difference here is A-Chain. Where's he ranked in your running back rankings? Is he a top 10 running back, or are we going to be a panic Peter and say, oh, or an upset Unger about the fact that we didn't have him? Smitty told you to pick him up, but I didn't do it, so I'm going to root against him, and I'm going to come in here and be a complaining Caleb and say, Smitty, he can't. He's in a running back by committee. Smitty, Wilson's coming back. Anybody speaking like that about A-Chain, he's going to fall back to the wayside. He's not going to do well. Stop worrying about it. Don't overspend on your fab. He's not going to be well. You didn't grab him because that is psychology. That is your doubling down on the missed opportunity and your justification for why you didn't really miss it. Because in your head, your head's exploding. In your head, you're saying, well, I didn't get this right. And if he ends up being for real, how did I miss this? How did I see this? How did I not see this coming? So your only inclination is to double down Donnie on this situation. You are going to double down Donnie because it's the only thing you know. It's the only thing you know, and it's what makes sense. Because if you admit that you missed it, that's going to upset you. It's going to upset you. And this is what it means to be a double down Donnie.
A double down Donnie is a fantasy owner that wants you to actually say yes or no, even if you've clearly made your point.
You could be a double down Donnie if you want, and you could say A-Chain's he's got crowded backfield. What's gonna happen there? It's gonna put him to the bench. A lot of people saying, Smitty, is he going back to the practice squad? Like, what are you talking about? This guy, probably one of the top 10 running back seasons of all time. And you think this team's going to send him to the bench? He's like a Tesla off the line. We call him the mini Tesla. Off the line, no one can hang with him. Tyreek Hill. It's like this is the fastest team in the NFL. And Tua is doing unbelievable. And Tua deserves more damn respect from me. Miami Mike deserves more damn respect from all of us. And this offense looks unstoppable. The speed they have, they didn't even have Waddle out there doing Waddle type things. The speed that this offense has is unbelievable. And I'm excited to watch what unfolds for the Miami Dolphins. Are they Super Bowl bound? Can Tua stay healthy all year? I'm rooting for it. I've said it all off season long. I worry about that injury. I do. But will I be rooting for Tua Tagovailoa to stay healthy? You absolutely bet your bottom dollar I do, because I don't wish injury upon anybody. And so as you navigate your week number 4 repairs, as you navigate your week 4 sneaky, creative, buy low moves to try and get into positioning to dominate every single one of your league mates, you need to take a glance around at this list and say, who can I get for a steal? I need a quarterback. I go get Jordan Love on the cheap. And I will hit the super chats in a little bit. Hang tight, okay? Answered in order in which they've been received. First in the building, by the way, tonight was Sam. Sam, appreciate you being first in the building. I'm going to give you and both DJ Meat Missile, who was the first super chat of the evening, a standing ovation because you were first in the door and first to drop a super chat. DJ Meat Missile, ladies and gentlemen. DJ Meat Missile, appreciate you coming in strong with your super chat. I will get to you as soon as I can. Hang tight, young man. Hang tight. And don't worry, I see the chat. I'm trying to navigate this all while I'm talking about the buy lows. So hang tight. Appreciate you all being here. Mario says, Smitty, I thought the Bears were going to be good this year. 8 scratching my chin emojis. Yeah, Mario, you got me. I missed something, Mario. Of course I missed something. It's fantasy football. It's the NFL, Mario. Get used to it. I'm not going to be 100% right. I love that you grabbed onto the big prediction that I missed. Congrats on that. Thanks for identifying it, Mario. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Okay, so Jordan Love, you need a quarterback. This is your guy. Again, exiting quarter 2 with DMs to the rafters. Smitty, I can't believe Jordan Love tricked us all. He's going to be a gem the moment he gets Christian Watson and Aaron Jones back. Is it this week? Will it be in the short week? Will he get him back? I don't know. It sounds like we probably will. And if he does, it's to the moon for Jordan Love. This is a guy that could score 3 total touchdowns almost every week. And at the end of the season, it's going to be a remarkable stat line that he's going to have. A remarkable placing and slotting amongst all quarterbacks where people say, holy crap, look at this. Look at the fact. Look at the fact that this guy's sitting there at 5 or 6 overall for quarterbacks. Unbelievable season out of Jordan Love. And it's going to continue to go up from here. Up from here. Aaron Jones is a good buy low as well. We could put Aaron Jones on this list. Absolutely. Because people are a little worried that he's been banged up. Maybe they're unsure if he's going to necessarily be full go or play. And so, his owners might be a panic Peter or two sitting out there. Christian Watson, for all the reasons I've just explained for Jordan Love. Watson and Aaron Jones, great buy lows. Christian Watson is a potential top 12 wide receiver, and people just don't know it. They're sitting here going, I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him, therefore he isn't. He doesn't exist. The tree falls in the forest. No one sees it or hears it. Did it ever fall? No one knows. Did Watson ever become a top 12 wide receiver? Did anybody see if Watson was a top 12? I don't think he is. I don't think he's become one. He has not. He has not become anything yet. And people are upset. They're in week 3, exiting week 3, walking into week 4 saying, where in the hell is this guy that we thought was going to be an absolute monster and moon man? He's nowhere to be found. And so they're pissed off. They're ready to deal him. He is the best accoutrement in a trade where you can throw him in as an accessory to receive him. I'll send one player packing. I'll get Christian Watson and a JT. The best package you could find in 2023, week number 4, is a Watson and JT, a Kamara and Watson. These are the 2 best players you could get for one player if you're looking to sell one player for 2. The perfect execution of a one player going away off your team, best player in the deal being traded away and receiving 2 pieces back. Christian Watson and Kamara. JT and Christian Watson. It is the best package you can find. Why? Because a top 12 wide receiver might be hiding among the people. A top 12, maybe top 5 to 10 running back could still be hiding among JT and players like him, like Kamara. These 2 gentlemen might be saviors. These 2 gentlemen might be top 5 to 10 running backs. Our top 10 running backs in fantasy football are in shambles. I don't think a single one of us could come to an agreement with another individual on our top 10 running backs, because once you get past 5, 4, you don't know what the hell you're looking at. Everyone's going to say, I guess this guy's out. No, I still like him. What do you mean you like him? A-Chain. A-Chain's going to the practice squad. Wilson's coming back. How's A-Chain going to be great? A-Chain's a top 10 running back. Everyone's going to be all over the map in terms of the RBs. People discounting Bijan outside the top 5. Some people saying he's still RB3 or 4 or whatever. Bijan's going to be all over the map, which is why he's an additional great buy low this week. The fact that you can get a Christian Watson and Bijan together for an RB, maybe like Pollard, who's been continuing to do well, that it's a pretty good sell candidate if you need to divide one player, your Tony Pollard, into 2 players, Watson and Bijan. Go buy Jahmyr Gibbs and maybe a higher ranked player like Devontae Smith. Gibbs and Devontae Smith for one better player like Pollard. Let's see, a Hall and Devontae Smith for one better player that you're drafting. Probably RB kind of near where Devontae Smith was going. Devontae Smith just had a semi-bad game. What happens when someone has a semi-bad game? Overreacting Rodgers. Overreacting Oscars. All over the place. Devontae Smith can't be a top 5 to 10 wide receiver. He just had a bad game. A.J. Brown's back. We knew A.J. Brown was coming back. We said before the game and all week, buy low A.J. Brown season. A.J. Brown goes out, looks like an absolute monster. Devontae Smith, quiet game. There was a lot of individuals were sick, including Jalen Hurts, by the way, in this game. There was a lot of reasons why Devontae Smith didn't have a remarkable game. Number one, he can't have a remarkable game every week. They're going to rotate. They're both wide receiver ones. A.J. Brown is an alpha wide receiver 1. Devontae Smith, alpha, wide receiver 1. They both are. And whichever one's doing bad, that's the one you target the next week, because they will rotate, and they still both could do well at the same time. Jalen Hurts still looks a little off. Jalen Hurts is a fantastic buy low. Or, Smitty, you can't buy Jalen Hurts low. You certainly can. You certainly can go. In fact, we'll put him on the list. I understand he's not going to be cheap as can be, but Jalen Hurts is an absolute buy low player that I think people are understanding is buy low, because he's Jalen Hurts. He's still done fairly well. Doesn't matter. There are people that have multiple quarterbacks. Where do we fit him? We're running out of room. Let's put him right here, I guess. I don't know. Put him right here. Put him right here. We'll move A-Chain down a little bit. A-Chain, you need to move over, buddy. Taylor, I'm sorry. Let's move Ridley down. Ridley, you got to move over. We don't have room. Eckler, you're hogging up all the room. Okay, there we go. A-Chain, move him down. There we go. Hurts, buy low. Hurts, buy low. Devontae Smith, buy low. These are packages you will not see entering week number 5. Devontae Smith and Gibbs. Devontae Smith and Hall for one running back that is around Devontae Smith's old draft value. This guy's draft value went to the second round, if you were to draft it, walking into week number 4. So coming out of week 2, walking into week 3, this guy had second round value. Coming out of week 3, where he has a semi-bad game, now he's back to round 3 equivalent value, if I had to guess. Meaning you could trade a second round equivalent running back in a dry running back market, get Devontae Smith, Jahmyr Gibbs, walk straight to the moon. You could sell a Christian McCaffrey if your team's in shambles right now. No one's suggesting you buy or sell in situations across the board. Not all situations are the same, but if you own Christian McCaffrey and you're in shambles, you have to make a trade. What are you going to do? Hold on to CMC and ride the ship into the sea and sink and go, I got McCaffrey scoring, and then you go straight under the water. Yeah, that's a great plan. If you have CMC and you're losing, you must look around and say, my quarterback's in shambles right now. This guy's got Bijan, also has Hurts, and has a quarterback like Kirk Cousins. You convince him to give you Hurts and Bijan for CMC or something like that to get yourself in a position where you could have a top 5 running back go forward in Bijan, and you believe in that. You're going to take that gamble and you get yourself a Jalen Hurts who has been good, but he's still attainable. Jordan Love and a player is attainable. Richardson, coming off the concussion and just being forgotten about for a week, is more attainable than he should be. Somebody may have Jordan Love and Richardson. Somebody may have Kirk Cousins and Richardson. Somebody may have Richardson in their backup role because he was drafted oftentimes before the starter, but somebody came in and grabbed the Cousins, grabbed Deshaun Watson. Maybe people are excited about Deshaun Watson. They got Richardson. I venture to say most people, at least 60% of people that own Richardson, also have a comparable in their mind quarterback. He's attainable. With everybody having shambles going on at running back, wide receiver, he is attainable. Kamara, less attainable because we've been saying to grab him before his return. His owners are going to be very reluctant to trade him away after they've held on to him and done all the heavy lifting and holding and waiting. So I don't know how easy it's going to be to get Kamara. The only way you can trick someone out of trading Kamara right now, because no one's giving you a 1-for-1, because they feel that pain of I held on to him, now I'm going to send him to you. I don't want to do that. The only way to trick someone into giving up Kamara is a 1 player for 2 or a 2 player for 1. If you go to a player and say, hey, I'll give you so-and-so, 2 different players off the top of my head, let me just look at thefantasyfootballshow.com rankings, where you can get your bold predictions, your rankings, your trade calculator, your one-on-one text line. And we look at the rankings real quick and we say to ourselves, what about like a Puka Nacua and a potential, Kyron Williams, a potential Joe Mixon off of the big game. Joe Mixon definitely could be traded, I imagine. You could trade Joe Mixon and Puka, Joe Mixon and a wide receiver that's doing well, better than you think will be doing later, and get a Kamara. A Puka Nacua and Joe Mixon for Kamara. A Puka Nacua and Joe Mixon for Jonathan Taylor and even a piece. Somebody might throw in a free Jahan Dotson, who is almost droppable to a lot of people right now. Understandably so, especially if you got to pick up Tank Dell and you have no other options. I get it. There's not a lot of wiggle room sometimes within rosters when you're talking about players like that. So I get it. I'm not mad at anybody if they got to go out and drop a player that we liked a lot in the offseason that hasn't yet done something. Christian Watson does not qualify. Jahan Dotson, I get it, but I'm going to monitor Jahan Dotson. I'm still going to try and pick up Jahan Dotson as one of my last bench pieces. If somebody does cut him, I will probably scoop him up and hold, because I know the talent's there. The situation hasn't been great for him, and we got to see that unfold. It may never unfold, and we understand that. That's the nature of a bold prediction. That's the nature of a moon man, and that's the nature of why you don't draft. And I've said this all off season long, and I think I need to have a disclaimer on it during 2024, is you don't draft just moon men. These are bold predictions. We're not going to get the moon men. I don't know what anybody thinks about the moon men, that we're going to get 90 or 100% of bold predictions correct. Does anybody understand what the definition of a bold prediction is? Unlikely to happen. Unlikely to happen. Big, huge prediction. We're going to get maybe 50%, 65% of the bold predictions right. But at the cost of entry, no one should be losing a league on some of these bold prediction players that we're grabbing. Dotson cost you nothing. Dotson was in the 7th round. He doesn't work out. He doesn't work out. Christian Watson was an expensive 4 or 5 round player, and I do believe he will work out. All these players, Gibbs is probably the most expensive, disappointing player in Hall right now, and it sucks. It does suck, but slow starts happen. We're in week 3. We were even warned that both these guys would be unleashed very slowly. And everybody said, yeah, that's fine, that's fine. You thought it was fine in your head, but you haven't wrapped your mind around the fact that they have started off slow. In fact, he's done fairly well. In week number 2, he got 70% of the snaps walking out of that Montgomery injury. Now, he had 17 carries for 4.7 a pop last week in week number 3, and he averaged 80, or he scored 80, or tallied 87 total yards rushing the football. He did well. But Hall looks like he's in shambles because the quarterback situation is garbage. So I don't know when he rebounds. He's already doing pretty good work considering we were warned he would be unleashed slowly. I think they get to business. I think, personally, he will start having more room. I don't care if Monty's back or not. He'll have more room and open space. They need to get him the football, and they'll start having electric plays. He's a good buy low. No one is asking anybody to go buy him at his draft value. Who cares about the spilled milk? Okay? He's no longer a 3rd rounder. Right now, he's practically not free, but he's practically in a territory where you're giving up almost guys that have been popping off on the waiver wire, like a Kyren for a Gibbs. You can give up a player like that with ease. You could give up Puka Nacua if you wanted to. You could also hold Puka. I'd understand why you'd want to, but we're talking about waiver wire fodder that is playing great, that is now usable acquisition coin right now to go exchange for a Jahmyr Gibbs or a Breece Hall. That's opportunity. You can get mad about what they did or didn't do for you at the cost of entry, or you can go get them before it's too late. Waddle is another great buy low. We can put Waddle on here. Let me copy that and send Waddle on screen here. Waddle's a fantastic buy low. Like Devontae Smith, people are very fickle as to who the number 1 is, and in an offense like that. And so Waddle's a for sure buy low. We'll put Waddle right here. That's a good one to add. Eckler is a player we said to avoid, as is Jonathan Taylor, for amazing reasons, right? That we called correctly. But does that mean we don't adjust and adapt based on their newfound value? I find it so funny when somebody comes in and says, Smitty, you're flip-flopping on Eckler, aren't you? You're flip-flopping on Jonathan Taylor, aren't you? You really don't understand how the buy low, sell high business works if that's what you think, or you don't understand my show. Now is the time to strike. We let everybody else draft Eckler high and avoided him at 28 years old. Very injury prone, very risky. And now we swoop in when they're hurting and we scoop up Eckler from them, pennies on the dollar, and we realize that without Mike Williams, there's a strong shot that Austin Eckler is going to get a bunch more targets than he would have now that the team is potentially worried about filling the role of Mike Williams, throwing a rookie Quentin Johnston into that role, sharing it with Joshua Palmer, And so now the number 2 wide receiver potentially could be Austin Eckler again, like he was the year prior, like he was when he was overfed. This is probably one of the best buy low running backs in fantasy football right now because running backs are in shambles. If you don't go get Austin Eckler before week number 4, it's going to be increasingly, especially if he somehow remarkably plays, it's going to be increasingly harder and harder to get him. Now, if he sits out another week, which is certainly possible, you can get him cheap right now. His owner is probably 0-3 or 1-2 at best, and they're worried. They're in shambles. Eckler is a very vulnerable piece for the owner of Eckler right now because they can't envision going on the same way they're going. They have to make a move. They feel like they have to make a move. This is where, and I hate when people come in and say, that never could happen. Did Smitty, in my comments yesterday, Smitty's like, do you really think anybody's going to give up a Debo for what you recommended? Yeah. Ask yourself this question before you start saying, oh, that won't happen. I wish I could get that trade. How many times does a trade happen in your league that you say, what in the hell? Every year. Every single one of you. I know you want to believe your league's so good. You know, that it validates how good you are if you play in a good league. I don't know why people are so hell-bent on proving to me their league is full of sharks and nobody makes mistakes. Every single year. Every single one of your leagues, unless you're in a no trading league where people don't pay attention anyway, which is a garbage league anyway. Every single one of you have an owner that makes a trade that you're scratching your head going, if I would have known that player was available that cheap, I would have come in and got him. What in the hell? I didn't even know he was giving them away like pennies on the dollar. I had no idea this guy was giving away this player like a ham sandwich. Every one of you know that happens all the time. And so if you think just because Eckler shouldn't be held to a cheap standard right now, that the owner feels the same way, you're making assumptions that you're going to be regretful about later on when Bill from accounting goes to Bob from accounting and says, hey, why don't we do some accounting? I'll send you a bunch of this garbage. I've got some guys that have been popping off that I got off waivers, and I'll mix them with someone else, and I'll give them to you for Eckler. He trades Eckler away, and in the comments of the chat says, well, might as well take a swing. And everyone's like, what are you doing, Bill? Or Bob, or whoever the hell made the trade from accounting? You messed up. Take a lap, Bill. These are your buy lows, ladies and gentlemen. These are your win a league players. Lamb, get him now while people are disappointed. There is some concern with that offense. Dell, make sure he's not on waivers. He's a great throw-in. The reason I put him on this list because people were calling for it is you can throw him in. Absolutely throw him in. Yeah, hang tight on the super chats. I'm coming for him. Gibbs, Hall, Richardson, Love, Aaron Jones, Watson, Hurts, A-Chain, Taylor, Jaylen Warren, similar to Dell, could be on waivers, but also a great throw-in, could get maybe 40-50% of the work at some point. It's going to be unbelievable. Devontae Smith, Waddle, Eckler, Ridley, everybody's jumping off the Ridley's a top 10, top 5 wide receiver. Just wait. Ridley's going to prove to every doubter out there, he's going to rebound with a vengeance, and people are going to say, Ridley season, let's go. Ridley will be fine. I'm buying low on Ridley all day long. I'm buying low on Bijan all day long. These are your go-get players walking in to week number 4. This is how you win a league. This is where you win a league. Right here, right now. Stop crying over spilled milk. Nobody's saying all of you are. I'm saying if your mentality is, what do I do now? This is what you do. 1 for 2s, 2 for 1s. Get it done. Go assemble the crew and make it work. Let's go. Now we're heading into the super chat territory. We got the $20 haulers on screen first. Red with a $20 hauler. Appreciate my boy Red coming in strong. That boy with a $20 hauler. Absolutely amazing of both of you. Marty with a $20 hauler. Marty, appreciate you. $20 haulers. This is a unfair world. Get immediate assistance. Superfish with a $20 hauler. Thank you so much, guys, for dropping those amazing $20 wads on screen. Let's go to Red, who had the first one of the lot of them. Red, appreciate you. Smitty, I made a trade of a lifetime. I got Higgins for Lockett and Juwan Johnson and traded the Bills defense for the Cowboys defense. I like the trade. I don't know if I'd call that the trade of a lifetime, but I'd say I could understand that trade working out well for you. I think the Bills defense played phenomenal. I think the Cowboys defense could still be very, very good, but they are injured, and it's tough to know how well they'll play on the year now. But this could work out. I wouldn't call it a trade of a lifetime or a got him moment, but if you believe in Higgins and he dropped the football and he looked like garbage in that game, I won't lie to you, Red. But it's not a bad move. It's not a bad move. Lockett could still prove to be pretty useful. I don't think you got him, but I think if you believe in Higgins, there's nothing wrong with that trade. And I think you need to be excited about what you did if it's the player you believe in. If you think Higgins is going to come back strong, do it live. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for your super chat. Let's go. $20 hauler from the boy named Red.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
Boy named Red coming in strong. Marty with the $20 hauler. 0-3, 12-team.5. Fields, Kamara, Cook, Pierce, A-Chain, Charbonnet, Roshan, Gainwell. Okay, have to drop Gainwell or Bigsby to make a move after a pickup Dell for JSN. I like Dell over JSN, but I don't know that I want to drop JSN. But looking at your roster here, I don't know what other moves you can make. Freiermuth, if that's your starting tight end, right? You got to keep him. James Cook. I mean, you do a 2-for-1. You open up room and you don't have to cut JSN, or you could go back and get him. Gainwell is very tradable to me. I know some people look at him coming back as a big threat to Swift, and he's certainly going to be used so they can keep Swift healthy. But I don't know that I freaking get rid of JSN if I can trade Gainwell to somebody real quickly. Like Gainwell, and you got great wide receivers. Jamar Chase, St. Brown, Waddle, don't touch that. Kamara, unbelievable. A-Chain in the nick of time. James Cook, I'm indifferent on. I like him. I don't get rid of him. But if you could trade James Cook and let's say Gainwell to a very needy wide running back owner, and there are a lot of them, bro, you might be able to get like Christian Watson on the cheap. Some of these guys on this list on the cheap, and that might be a very, very good move for you. So I would explore that, and you could even potentially upgrade, let's say, a freaking Waddle into, it's tough. You could maybe upgrade like a Flowers, maybe next week though. I don't know if anybody's going to see the value like we do. Maybe upgrade James Cook. James Cook and if you could get into a different quarterback, I'd maybe go quarterback shopping, toss in a Pierce and Gainwell to a running back needy team that might have two quarterbacks. Go after injured Joe Burrow. I have Joe Burrow in a bunch of leagues and Anthony Richardson, and I'd be glad to trade Joe Burrow to just get stronger somewhere else and bank on Anthony Richardson. So go to teams that have Anthony Richardson, Joe Burrow, Jordan Love, and try and acquire a quarterback. But I would definitely use Pierce. You've got A-Chain and Kamara. So James Cook and Pierce are tradable pieces in a running back climate where I think you can make moves that you maybe shouldn't be able to make. That's probably where I would focus. Quarterback. Everywhere else, you're looking really good with Kamara back. Excellent job holding Kamara and not freaking out or selling him low. Non-PPR, going after A-Chain and Love by dropping JSN and Dotson. I can get behind that. Again, I try and potentially hold on to JSN, but looking at your team, I could understand why you're holding Algier for Bijan. I can understand why you have such a small bench. You can't really make any other moves. So I Smitty approved that. We'll end up with 2 QBs, 3 wide receivers. I like that. Drop one instead. I can't see another drop. Hold on to all those guys. Your team is absolutely phenomenal with Pollard, Bijan, Swift, Kamara. You might want to trade, if you can, one of those RBs, going and getting a Devontae Smith cheap, going and getting a Ridley cheap. Ridley's very cheap right now. You can do that using your RBs. Which RB do I use? I would be very tempted to trade Swift for a Ridley or a Olave or someone of that caliber. Oh, you got Ridley. Perfect. You got Ridley. I'm sorry. I just saw that. Ridley, Watson. Maybe you just hold the I'd be very tempted. I'd be very tempted to go get a wide receiver like Olave for Swift. I still would. But maybe you're okay just sitting out another week and letting some of the players gain value. I'd probably say stand down if you don't get some amazing like JT move or something like that. You move one of the running backs for JT. Like, Swift for JT and another piece or upgrade somewhere would be interesting. I love Swift. Swift's a top potential 10 running back, but I still think JT's a fun move. 10-man, 1 and 2, 2 QBs, 3 wide receivers. Richardson, Stroud, Brees, Gibbs, Chase, JJ, AJ Brown, tight end Musgrave, Flex, Flowers, Ben Spears, Kincaid, Garrett Wilson, London, Roshan, Akers. Any moves I can get ETN, JT, Kamara. Thank you, that boy, for dropping the $10 hauler. 2 QBs. Richardson and Stroud is pretty good. Brees and Gibbs is underrated. Chase, JJ, and AJ Brown's off the hook. Your Flex Flowers is unbelievable. I would love to see you move Stroud and get Love somehow. And if Garrett Wilson or London gets that done, that's amazing to me. Richardson's a phenomenal quarterback in this format, I think, in a 2 QB where he's a little undervalued. Would I like to reach higher than Jordan Love? Absolutely. I just don't know how attainable a Jalen Hurts is using Stroud unless you give up like an A.J. Brown or higher. And I don't know that I want you touching your wide receiver room as your strength. I think the only move for you to make, because you're banking on Brees, you're banking on Gibbs, not to say that those are going to take you down, but they're certainly risky. Of course, I'd rather have a Kamara. I'd rather have a JT. I don't know if it's possible to even move a Garrett Wilson and Brees Hall for a JT who's out another week, but you could poke around at that. Given that you're 1 and 2, you're not 0 and 3. You could handle trying to skate by this week. Maybe get lucky, be 2 and 2, or even if you're 1 and 3, you throw JT into this lineup, go forward. It's phenomenal. So I would be tempted to look at that type of move using a London or Garrett Wilson only. But Garrett Wilson and London, one or both, to a team that has 2 quarterbacks, or that you like one of them, that's an upgrade over Stroud. Stroud's nice though; he's pretty crafty. The other thing you could do is maybe Garrett Wilson and Brees Hall, Garrett Wilson and Gibbs for a Kamara or JT. That could work, or buy any of the other RBs on screen here. Eckler would be fantastic. I don't know if you could trade Gibbs and Garrett Wilson for Eckler. If news breaks about Eckler this week, I'm going to refresh as I'm live. I can't read news as quickly while I'm live. I keep refreshing it. But if Eckler's like ruled out or something this week, then all of a sudden you've got a player that you can buy low because the owner can't freaking... Why is everybody hating on Swift again? I don't understand it either. It's insane that people cannot accept the fact that he's a top 10 running back and a very good top 10 running back at that. I would go after Eckler if I'm you. Go after JT. That's where I would attack with this team. I think those would be phenomenal moves for you. We got Finn's Fanatic with a $20 hauler. Appreciate Finn's. I don't know if I did the other $20 hauler. Here's 2 of them in a row for Finn's Fanatic and that boy.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Thank you, Finn's Fanatic. Thank you, that boy. Appreciate you. $20 hauler. Sucks when everyone in your league refuses to trade with you. I've been blacklisted because of Smitty. Thank you. Appreciate you. And continue to try, Finn's Fanatic. All it takes is one person. They can't lock arms the whole time. They hate us because they ain't us. Guess I'll be through waivers and pickups to the moon. Appreciate you, Finn's Fanatic, for dropping a $20 hauler just to say that. What a supporter you are. To the moon. To the moon. Unbelievable. Thank you so much for your super chat. Finn's Fanatic to the moon. And yeah, there's still moves to make. People are going to trade because they may lock arms and say we're not trading with Finn's Fanatic, or we're not trading with so-and-so. But the moment you offer them something that's going to help them, they'll do a trade. Yo, Smitty, I'm 1 and 2. Any trade advice? 0.5. Fields, now Love. Good. Love, you're good to go. Jones, Gainwell, Dalvin Cook, Akers. I'm trying to sell high off this Akers nonsense, and I don't know what you could get. I would trade Akers and let's say maybe Puka's your way out of this, because you got J.J. Lamb and Sun God. You got 3 amazing wide receivers. I'm not saying Puka's garbage. I'm not saying Puka's going to fall away to the wayside, but he certainly kind of came down to earth a little bit. There's a potential to trade him and go get a freaking player like using Puka. You could probably get, you might still be able to get JT given he's out for another week, and you're waiting on that. People are waiting on that. There's still obscurity there. There is risk going after JT. I want to make that abundantly clear. And every time I think going forward, when I mention JT, I got to acknowledge the risk involved. It's a high risk, high reward move. It's not a low risk move. Just because JT should be coming back doesn't mean JT will be coming back. But it's a dice roll. It's a fun dice roll that may work out, may not work out. But it's certainly capable of going down with a Puka and Gainwell, a Puka and Akers. I've seen people do Akers and another player kind of equivalent to Puka and get a freaking, I think it was Bijan, and they give up something else like Dell. And it happens all the time. You won't know until you ask. And anybody that says, oh, that trade won't happen in my league, again, ask yourself the question. How often do you see something go down in your league where you're scratching your head and wishing the offer was sent to you? All the time. So until you ask, you won't know. And every time somebody says that, I say to myself, do you not see trades happen in your league that don't make sense? You've got to offer them. But Akers and Puka are your way out. What other running backs could you get for Akers and Puka? We look around the screen. We see Kamara. We see JT. Gibbs would be an interesting go-get for you if you were to maybe use Puka straight up. Hall and something. I imagine using Puka, you could get Hall and another player potentially. Those would be players that I would be attacking. I would go after Bijan. I doubt anybody's going to give him up. You could potentially go get, what other running backs? Using the fantasyfootballshow.com rankings, where you guys can get your year-round fantasy football rankings and bold predictions and text advice. I'm looking at the running back rankings, and I'm saying to myself, this is in shambles. It's Kamara. It's Aaron Jones, who you already have. It's JT. It's ETN, who's cheaper than he should be, but hard to get right now. Walker. It's Eckler buy low. It's shamble time. This is in shambles right now. In shambles. Dameon Pierce is an interesting buy low. Kyren Williams, coming off a semi-bad game, is an interesting buy low. So maybe for your team, DJ Meat Missile, you could explore trying to get Kyren Williams and buying high, using Puka and trying to get something else. It's not crazy. Kyren and Puka are very close. That might be a good move. Meat Missile, just make sure you go after A-Chain, JT, and Kamara with all your might, because I think that kind of player on your team without losing a main big dog. My email, Smitty. Axe, I don't know what that means. I'll try and look at my email if you're saying you sent me something via email, but I'm not sure what that means or what that. I can't stop the show right now and go into my email real quick, but I need a QB help. I'll look Axe in a minute. I need QB help. Should I trade Gibbs for Justin Herbert or Gibbs for Richardson Waller? Gibbs for Herbert, Gibbs for Richardson Waller. I'd take either of those trades if you're decimated at quarterback. And what about trading Bijan for Walker Richardson? I would trade Bijan for Walker Richardson. That's the move to make. I'm going to Smitty approve that one right there. That's the one to do. Look, I love Bijan, but Walker is playing like a monster. And if you get a top 6, top 7 potential QB, that's a phenomenal move, James. That's how you do it. That's how you navigate these treacherous open waters. RS coming with a $20 hauler. There's nothing attached, but RS, I will go and try and look for a message for you real quick. Try and put it into the message if you could. $20 hauler from Colin. 1 and 2, 12-man, half PPR. Fields, Olave, Garrett Wilson, Dell, Gibbs, Swift, Kelsey, JT. This is a good team. It's got a good core. I'd be looking. You got to put Goff into your lineup, but I'd be looking to trade Goff for Love, Goff for Richardson. Try and capitalize on Goff's pretty decent value. And Laporta's phenomenal. That's a trade piece if you can't get other things cooking. But Goff into an Anthony Richardson or Love would be preferable for me. Using Rachaad White and a Garrett Wilson to go get one of these doubted monsters here. Lamb, Ridley, JT, Kamara, using Garrett Wilson and Rachaad White. I would definitely look to grab one of these undervalued monsters. Eckler would be interesting for you as well. Eckler using Garrett Wilson and Rachaad White, using even look, I love Laporta. I'm not saying trade him, but if it gets you into an Eckler somehow, because the team's like, well, I don't have a tight end, and they make some move they shouldn't make, that's a good move as well. But I would try and make one simple move. Throw Goff in your lineup for now. Try and upgrade him to Richardson. Try and take you got JT. Try and take Kelsey and JT. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. Make the one move. The one move, bro. Garrett Wilson and Rachaad White for one player. And I think this team heads to the moon. I was still trying to do the quarterback move, but you could survive with Goff. Make sure you pick up Stroud so you have another backup. Fields is not gonna suffice right now. You know, I hate to say that, but it is what it is. It is what it freaking is, bro. Thank you, Colin, for the super chat. Nice job with your team. It's almost there. Just one simple move, my guy, and you're off to the races. RS, I don't see another message from RS. RS, appreciate your super chat. If you got anything else, drop it, please, and I will definitely help you. Thank you for your super chat. $20 haulers to both of you.
Alert. Super chat alert.
RS. Thank you both for your super chats. RS and Colin, $20 haulers. You guys absolutely rock. Belichick yourself coming in strong. Sell Laporta and Harris for Pierce and Christian Watson. I would take Pierce and Christian Watson if you can survive at the tight end position. Look, I don't know that. Well, you know what? I mean, I lean that way, but the problem is you can't get rid of Najee for anything. If you could, I would rather trade Najee for something else and keep Laporta. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you could trade Najee for Gibbs or add something in and go get Taylor, or trade Najee for A-Chain and keep Laporta. But I do like Christian Watson a lot. I do think Dameon Pierce could still be good. So I'm going to say I lean that direction. I don't know if that's the right trade, though. It's hard to say. Like, I love that move. Could Najee Harris get you more? I don't know. He's hard to trade right now. People are afraid to go after him for good reason. Thinking of offering Dell and Hall for Eckler. I'd easily do that trade, G-Money. That would be a home run smash, my guy. Home run freaking smash. Joseph Smith with a $20 hauler. 10-team half PPR. Love, Fields, Bijan. Hold on a second. Zach, you got 30 seconds, pal. You got 30 seconds.
What's up, Smitty? I have a trade on the table. I would be getting Tyreek, and I'm trading away Kenneth Walker, A-Chain, and Tank Dell.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be very dependent on A-Chain, obviously. So it could work out for both sides, but you kind of got to take Tyreek. He's the best player in the deal. And we don't fully know what A-Chain's going to do. And if he bounces back to earth a little bit, you're going to be very regretful you didn't take Tyreek Hill. But if you have enough depth, like you're not starting Akers as your starting running back after this move, I would probably do it. But it depends on your depth. Appreciate you, man. Call back in when we open the phone lines, pal. Okay. Love, Fields, $20 hauler, by the way, from Joseph.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Joseph coming in strong. 10-team half PPR. Love, Fields, Bijan, Swift, Javonte, Algier, Herbert, Tyreek, Ridley. Great wide receivers. Ridley and Tyreek, fantastic. Swift and Bijan, fantastic. Love, fantastic. Should I move someone in a 2-for-1 and Richardson got dropped? Can I drop Fields for AR? Absolutely. Like, Anthony Richardson's a top 6 quarterback right now. You got to grab him immediately. Almost full load drop because of what that enables you trade value-wise later on. That's the most important thing I can tell you off the Super Chat, period. As far as a 2-for-1, can you trade Garrett Wilson and a Javonte? Can you trade Garrett Wilson and a Kincaid and try and get, would I take Laporta for Garrett Wilson? I probably would, because Laporta's playing like a top 5 tight end. Garrett Wilson's tough. Like, he's a quarterback. He doesn't get a quarterback. He's still a borderline like 10 to 15 wide receiver. I think people need to understand he's got that potential, but he does need consistency. Zach Wilson's awful. He's dreadful. Colin Kaepernick wrote a letter to the Jets saying, put me on the practice squad. The fact that the Jets haven't done it, the fact that the Jets haven't brought in Cam Newton at least, or somebody that can move the football down the field. Carson Wentz, I don't understand these coaches. I think Salah, I like Salah, but I would be calling for Salah's job if he does not very swiftly take care of this QB situation. Salah's job should be on the line. This is pure incompetence at this point. If you don't recognize that Zach Wilson can't have you winning games, it is pure incompetence. And you should be removed. That's insane for him to not understand what time it is. But Javonte and Garrett Wilson, for every one of these players pretty much on the screen that are bigger names, like I'd do that for A-Chain. I'd give up Garrett Wilson and Javonte for A-Chain. Go make that offer for Gibbs, for Breece Hall. Those are all very, very good moves. I think give you that home run ability with two players you're not even sure if you need or want to use anyway. You know what I'm saying? So go for those home run hitters using those two options. Heating Up Podcast got offered Debo and Swift for Garrett Wilson and Gibbs in a PPR. Debo and Swift for Garrett Wilson, Gibbs. You got to smash that. My lineup is currently T-Law. Absolutely home run. Unbelievable trade right there. Heating Up Podcast. Execute that immediately. That's the trade of the day so far. Tony R. being offered Tua for my Swift. Currently, QBs are Fields and Lawrence. Remaining running back. Look, you still got good running backs. Definitely do that trade. Trade Swift away for Tua, and thank your lucky stars that you got an opportunity to get a piece of that offense. Look, I love Swift, but your running backs are great. Go get that trade done easy. Trade T-Law, Swift, and Garrett Wilson for Burrow and Pollard. I would probably take... Wow. What's the chat think on this one? Can I get a chat vote? T-Law, Swift, and Garrett Wilson for Burrow and Pollard. What side do we like on this? I think we're probably leaning toward the... Jeez. I mean, it's dependent on Garrett Wilson. If Garrett Wilson gets a quarterback, which I don't know that we're going to see happen. I think Salah is being incompetent here. I think, let's see what the chat thinks. I think this is a tough one. I probably lean toward the Pollard-Burrow side. Burrow-Pollard, T-Law side, Burrow-Pollard, Swift, T-Law, Swifty, Pollard. It's pretty close, pretty split. I'm going to lead toward the Burrow-Pollard side. I mean, you are vulnerable to that calf injury, but we did see him come out unscathed, and I think he can hobble around on it. Even if he retoured a little bit, you could still, within a week, be able to go out there and walk. You just shouldn't be running off the field. They need to, literally, they should cart him off the field every time he runs. Somebody should carry him. Trade away Pickens, Mitchell for D. Smith. Home run. Absolute home run. Moves to make, you just made it. Bench Nico, Roshan. You don't have a lot of maneuverability other than to maybe upgrade quarterback if you can, like to Anthony Richardson, Olave, Smith, Bijan. You can't get rid of any of that. Nico and T-Law to get Rich. You could do something like that. Great for Jordan Love. Past that, there's not a lot of moves to make, but I will Smitty approve that freaking trade. That trade might have put you in the driver's seat or put you into the top 4 or 5 in your league when you probably maybe weren't. Some excellent GMing right there. Superflex 1 and 2. Hurts, Gibbs, Dell, Wilson, Olave, Laporta, Love, T-Law. You got a lot of firepower here to trade one of these quarterbacks. I don't care if T-Law has been playing badly. He's still attainable or tradable. DJ Moore and T-Law together to go get a freaking JT or Kamara, or maybe, young man, you can take Gibbs and T-Law and go get Eckler. Maybe you could go get Bijan with that same offer. That quarterback is very valuable, and people are willing to pay for it. That is your way out of this situation. And when I say way out, I don't mean that your team's bad, but you get a freaking Eckler or a JT or a Kamara right now, it's potentially game over. So, Derek, go make that move specifically with the quarterback involved, and you're on your way, young man. You are on your way. $10 hauler from Kerry. Kerry, appreciate you dropping the $10 hauler. 14-team dynasty. I'm 0-3. Dak, Breece, Etienne, Christian Watson. We got to get rid of Dak. Mixon and Dak are liabilities here. Breece and Etienne. In dynasty, I'm not moving them. I don't care if Breeze takes a while. He's fantastic in Dynasty. ETN looks amazing. Christian Watson's perfect. Mixon. Amari's very, very good. Outplaying. Take a lap on me for doubting Amari up to this point. I still very much question Deshaun Watson, but Amari's playing absolutely phenomenal. He seems to always leave me disappointed at the end of it all, though, so I don't know that I'll end up being ultimately wrong if, let's say, week 10, he's injured, he doesn't come in. But everybody's getting hurt. Everybody's capable of getting hurt. So at this point, I'll take my lap early because Amari's playing great. That's on me, but is he still a good tradable piece because you can sell him high? Yes, like Mixon and Amari, and go get your freaking Eckler. That would be a phenomenal move for anybody that doesn't have Eckler. For anybody that doesn't have Bijan, you could trade Mixon and Amari for Bijan right now. Those are moves I would attack. Those are moves that I feel like would be great for this team, especially in Dynasty. Not Eckler in Dynasty. I'm sorry, this is Dynasty. Not Eckler in Dynasty. Mixon and Amari for Bijan. Mixon and Amari for let's see. You don't have Gibbs, right? Gibbs would be interesting. I know everyone's scared of him, but in Dynasty, I would give up Amari for Gibbs and throw in Mixon. This is Dynasty. I'm not saying to pack it in, but I would definitely make trades for those players that I love. Ridley's got more than a couple years left. I'm not afraid of trading Mixon and a Sky Moore for a Ridley to not only win now, but also have a big piece for the next 2 or 3 years, because I think he does play football very well for the next 2 or 3 years. Ridley's still got a couple years left for sure. Got offered Olave and Eckler for my La Honey Bunny Baby Bijan. What in the hell is that? I'm going to assume that's Bijan, Tucker. I don't speak this language, so you have Bijan in there. I don't know if there's a poor man's Bijan that you call La Honey Bunny Baby Bijan, but we'll say it's Bijan, I guess. Got offered Olave and Eckler for Bijan. Not in a dynasty, but in a redraft, I'm taking Eckler and Olave all day long, because Olave for Bijan, that's an arguable thing for you. I just don't know what in the hell Honey Bunny is. Okay, Rick with the $20 hauler. Rick, appreciate you. TJ with the $20 broski. Appreciate you. Both of you are absolutely phenomenal. Let me throw those on screen and get to them immediately. Rick says, hey, Smitty, trades. I give Elijah Moore or Gainwell plus Ferguson for Freiermuth. I don't really care about that trade. I feel like both of you get worse in that trade, Rick. Neither one of you is better. Ferguson's getting a lot of targets. Muth is scoring, but, is the offense limiting? If he doesn't get a touchdown, he doesn't do anything. So I guess I would take it. I suppose, there's nothing wrong with that trade. It's a 14-teamer, so maybe coming across starting tight end's a lot more difficult. Yeah, and Fergie's doing okay though. If I pull up Ferguson's stats, let me see what he did last week. I know there's a lot of disappointment coming out of that freaking Cowboy game, but Fergie's been getting targets, so there's no shame in starting Fergie. Ferguson, but I know he didn't exactly do. What did he get? It was 7 targets again. 48 yards. It wasn't bad. He's got 7 targets in week 1, 4 targets in week 2, and 7 targets in week number 3. And Freiermuth might be scoring. He had a touchdown in week 1, but Ferguson also had a touchdown, so he's only 1 touchdown. But his targets are 4, 1, and 4. And he's got yardage, 3 yards in week 1, 2 yards in week 2, and 41 yards in week 3. I kind of like Ferguson better. That's just me though, Rick. Rick, appreciate your super chat. And if there's anything else I can help you with, Rick to the moon.
Alert. Super chat alert.
We got another super chat here from TJ.
Alert. Super chat alert.
TJ coming in strong with another super 2-1. Any moves should I make? 10-man PPR Hurts. Love it. K9 Stevenson, Aaron Jones. I love this because you could trade Stevenson if you need to. You've got Aaron Jones. JJ, Sun God, unbelievable team. You're 2-1 for a reason. You probably barely were 2-1. You probably lost by a few points or something crazy. Dallas bench, Dimes, Hall. Hall's a fantastic bench piece. Dell is a fantastic bench piece. CJ on waivers. I probably would pick him up just to play defense on other people picking him up. Also thinking about K9 and Pickens for JJ and Addison. No, I would not trade JJ at all. You are in a fantastic spot having JJ, Sun God, Walker. Let's see, thinking about K9 and Pickens for JJ and Addison. Wait a minute. You have K9 and JJ. So what are we doing here? K9 and Pickens for JJ and Addison. You have JJ. You have JJ. I don't understand this. The trade offer you have here has you trading away K9 and Pickens for JJ and Addison, but you have K9. I don't know. TJ, you might have to clarify this one for me. I'm going to look in the chat for you, but you're talking about a trade with the guys that you have in your trade. So or on your team. So let me put this in the corner here, and we'll readdress it in a minute. Thank you, TJ. Appreciate you. TJ to the moon. I want to make sure I help my $20 hauler broski here. Junkie with a $20 wad on screen. This one is let's see here. If I could get it sized right. This is my screen is absolutely giving me fits. $20 hauler, full PPR, Patty Mahomes, Sun God, Ridley, Bijan, very good. Zach Moss, Komet, A-Chain, Kamara, unbelievable. DJ Moore, you got a great squad here. Was talking to the Jamar owner, wondering if Kamara plus Sun God to get him or JJ. No. Sun God's good enough. He's playing out of his mind. Kamara's coming back. There's no reason for you to go trade away for Jamar Chase. Now, JJ, I could get behind that. I don't think it's necessary. I think your team is very balanced, and if you take off Kamara and let's say a Sun God from the roster and just add JJ, not saying it's not amazing, but do I feel like you're going to win it? The answer is I don't think so. I think right now you can win it. Kamara, A-Chain, Ridley, Sun God, Pat Mahomes, Bijan. You have a very well-rounded team. Cup owner has T-Law offer Ridley. Cup owner has T-Law offer Ridley. I would definitely try and get Ridley on the cheap. Zach Moss and DJ Moore. Zach Moss and I mean, look, A-Chain might be tradable there to get Ridley. I like A-Chain a lot. I love A-Chain, especially for your team. But you know, you have Bijan and Kamara, but A-Chain for Ridley, you throw in something else, like a DJ Moore, you throw in a Nico Collins, you throw in a Zach Moss to get Ridley. I like Olave a little bit better. Other wide receivers you could potentially go after. Devontae Smith would be a fantastic addition using, let's say, Moss and A-Chain potentially if you wanted to go that route. Those are all the moves I would make, but I don't think I'm trading Sun God and Kamara for one player. It's interesting, but it doesn't make sense for your team. And even though JJ's amazing, I look at your squad and I don't say to myself, this team's winning it all. Appreciate you. You have Ridley. I was wondering about getting Cooper Kupp. Oh, no, I would keep Ridley over Cooper Kupp, bro. That's an interesting move. Like if you're using A-Chain and Zach Moss, Junkie, to go get Cooper Kupp, but don't use Ridley. Don't use Ridley. I'm sorry if I read that wrong. But yeah, definitely looks like you're in the driver's seat. You just you don't freak out and overreact, Junkie. You've got a really good team. Cooper Kupp's interesting, but he's not a guarantee of any kind, bro. He's still over 30 years old, still trying to come back from the injury. I would buy him certainly. And honestly, we probably should put Cooper Kupp on this list as a buy low for sure. Let me copy and put it on here. He qualifies. He definitely qualifies as a buy low, no doubt about it. But you got to get him as a buy low. You're buying him high. You're using a guy in Calvin Ridley that we absolutely still love here on this channel. So definitely don't be an overreactive Roger. Junkie, thank you for your super chat, my guy. Angus Beef coming in with a strong one.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert.
Angus Beef, love you, pal. 12-man PPR, Superflex. I got Tua, Danny Dimes, Walker, Brees, A-Chain. I love the A-Chain coming in at the nick of time. Brees becomes your running back 3 right now. Tyreek, Waddle, Higgins, really good. Kirk, good trade piece. Higgins, good trade piece. Higgins, Kirk with Brees, maybe. We're looking at something like Kamara, JT. Laporta, fantastic. Pitts, I mean, hold them, I guess, but big three: A-Chain, Tyreek, and Waddle. I'm 2-1, thinking of keeping, but let me know. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I like this team a lot. Tyreek, Waddle, and I think if you could trade Kirk and Higgins together for one undervalued Ridley or player on this board, I'd be very tempted to do that. I would trade Higgins and potentially Breece Hall. I'd even trade A-Chain if I could get an Eckler, like A-Chain and Higgins for Eckler. I've seen it happen, bro. Like, you won't know until you try. Gibbs would be a good buy low, but not necessarily needed with this team. I don't know that you necessarily need to go toward that direction. I think what you need to do is try and get Kamara, JT, Aaron Jones, Eckler, Ridley, Devontae Smith, using the combination of the. And I know you got Waddle already and Tyreek, and you're like, should I get rid of one of those? I don't necessarily think you have to, but you could explore that as well. Waddle for potentially, I would just keep it. I would ride this offense out. You got Tua, you got Waddle, you got Tyreek. You got no worries when touchdowns are being thrown. And A-Chain as well. Man, you must have scored a lot of points. If you started A-Chain, you went nuts. I don't know. I like this. I don't think I'd try and divide up those Dolphin players at all, bro. I ride that out. Your trade is Breece Hall and Higgins, or Breece Hall and Kirk, or Breece Hall, Higgins, and Kirk for one player. I really think if you get the buy low that you need, or you trade two of them for Smith, you're gonna be unstoppable. That's an unbelievable squad. What a fun team to have. What a great GM job you did, bro. Coming in strong with the Miami Dolphin players and waiver pickup or wherever you got A-Chain, whenever you got him. What a good. Hats off to that Miami Dolphin squad that you produced with all that other surrounding talent. It's not just the Miami Dolphins only. You've got surrounding talent. That's a great job. Let's give him a round of applause on that one. Unbelievable, bro. Congrats on that team. That's fun. That's a fun team. Don't divide those Dolphin players up. 10-team, half PPR, Love, Fields, Bijan, Swift, Javonte, Algier, Herbert, Ridley, Garrett Wilson, Jahan Dotson, Kincaid. Should I move someone in a 2-for-1? And Richardson got dropped. Absolutely grab Richardson for Fields, 1,000%. Joseph, I think I might have answered this one already. Maybe I did. Yeah, absolutely go do that. I think I did. This is already handled, this one. Thank you so much, Joseph, again for your super chat. You are the man, the myth, the legend, the man known as Joseph Smith. Appreciate you, Joseph, coming in strong. Did TJ ever come in and clarify this? Let's see if TJ did. TJ, what did you do, pal? What did you do? Josh Jacobs, JJ meaning Josh Jacobs. Oh! I appreciate you, TJ, but you can't use JJ. You can't use JJ for Josh Jacobs. That's Justin Jefferson's name, bro. No wonder you're confusing the hell out of me. Okay, so K9 and Pickens for Josh Jacobs and Addison. Absolutely, Smitty disapproved. No way in hell I'm doing that situation there, my man. And you came in strong with another $4.99 hauler because you're such a boss, TJ. I appreciate you. JJ meaning Josh Jacobs. Dell and CJ still on waivers. Love Dell. Go grab them. Danny Dimes and MT for them. Absolutely cut both those guys. Grab CJ. Grab Tank Dell. Phenomenal job. Make sure A-Chain's not available. I appreciate your super chat, your contribution, your loyalty. Absolute monster, TJ. Appreciate you so much. Your team's great, bro. Your team's great. Again, do what I suggested. Try and get rid of Hall and potentially, what do we say? JJ, Sun God, Aaron Jones, Stevenson. Maybe you trade Stevenson and Hall to the most needy running back team and go get that freaking Ridley and something player. Stevenson for Ridley straight up would be a marvelous trade. And if you got to throw in Hall and get, let's say, a Christian Watson back, you would win your league. You got a phenomenal position. You're in a phenomenal position because the running back stable market is in shambles. And you've got JJ, Sun God, Walker, and Hurts. You trade Stevenson for a Ridley or a Devonta Smith, it's maybe over. And you might even be able to do that straight up and keep Hall. So I'm glad you super chatted again so I could, hit it that way. You don't necessarily need to give up 2 for 1. Unbelievable situation. Guys, we got a lot of super chats in line. Please understand, Mystic, Thomas, Sterling, Xavier, Frag, Kevin, Boone, Dopey, Wave 3, Rigo, Matthew, Rick, Travis, V-Sand, KH3, Ryan, Tucker, Charles, Lucas, Lucio. And if I didn't read your name yet, that means that I'm still going to get to you. Please understand, I'm going through as fast as I can. Dynasty Keeper, trade Christian Watson plus Ford for A-Chain and Kincaid. Look, this could go 100 different ways. I probably right now in this moment in time lean toward A-Chain, but Christian Watson's a baller. I probably lean toward the A-Chain Kincaid side, especially in Dynasty, because Kincaid is a monster all in himself for Dynasty. So that side's amazing, bro. That's a fun side to own. I love Christian Watson, but that's a fun side. I take that Kincaid side with A-Chain. $10 team is 0-3. QB Fields going Stroud this week. Don't blame you. Look for Love. Look for Anthony Richardson and some trades. We'll look at that in a second. Just acquired Waddle. Nice job. 2 wide receivers, 2 flex. Who am I starting at wide receiver? Amon-Ra, Waddle, or Watson? Definitely those 3 if Watson's playing. If Watson's limited or said to be playing but unsure about workload, you go Dell, because Dell's doing Dell things. Dell to the moon. Dell's freaking unbelievable right now. Dell's a monster right now. Biaggia, Matt Biaggia, you got 30 seconds, pal. I'm in the middle of this stuff. I can't help you too long, so go. 30 seconds, go.
I'm pretty sure it's pronounced A-Chan.
Yeah, we hear that a lot. Okay, whatever. Thanks, Biaggia. Thanks, Biaggia. Appreciate you. Okay, back to... Look, until I see the clip of him... Someone could email me the clip of him correcting everybody. But everybody's saying different things. It's A-Chan. It's A-Chain. It's A-Cheon. It's A-Sean. I hear A-Chain all the time. I hear both of them. And maybe the announcers are pronouncing it wrong through all of college, but everybody's called him A-Chain. And not to mention Etienne. We've heard it before. You know, we like A-Chain. We like the A-Train. Okay? So Matt Biaggia, you can't pronounce anything right. You haven't pronounced Bijan right. We call you Matt Biaggia, not because your last name's Biaggia, because you kept calling in saying, yeah, this Biaggia Robinson. You can't pronounce anything right. It's the last person I'm coming to try and get pronunciation. 10-team PPR 0-3 Fields. This is who you're starting. Yeah, rest of the season, Warren or Roschon. Probably Warren for now, but I'm telling you, Roschon's time is probably coming. It's just a matter of we're waiting on the offense to get going. I do think Roschon is a part of the bounce back that will be not to the degree we all hoped. It is what it is, but I think we're definitely going to see him be an absolute potential gem later, Roschon. Even on a bad team, they're going to start running the ball and getting back to that versus trying to let Fields do it all. They need to simplify some things. Got Gibbs, Swift, Javonte, and Stevenson at running back. I love the Gibbs and Swift. To be honest, Stevenson's not bad. I think people are a little bit overreactive to his situation, but also I'm in agreement that we need to get rid of him where we can. So, like, do I dish him out for nothing? No. Do I get rid of him as fast as I can at high value, as high a value as I can? Absolutely. So it just kind of depends, you know what I'm saying, what you can do. But, like, you don't overreact, but you definitely look to shop him because there's a lot of concerns. I mean, this is a guy I said I was concerned about for weeks now, you know, worried about why they went after another running back so hard. They're trying to get Dalvin Cook. Then they went after Zeke. Why? In the doghouse effect of Bill Belichick, the rotation of running backs. He's definitely somebody I'm looking to shop. I just don't know that I send him for nothing like some people are. Adams, Lamb, Puka. You got great wide receivers. I think I should move a wide receiver for a running back, or should I hold? I would trade Puka and Stevenson for a Taylor, an Eckler, a JT. I think that would be a potential good move. And if you got Eckler, you'd probably do it straight up. If you got JT or Kamara, maybe you get something else in return. That would be a really good move. Need Gibbs to get on track ASAP. You're 1 and 2. Yeah, I mean, Gibbs, Swift, you got good wide receivers. I don't know who your quarterback is. Did you say? I would definitely go after those big running backs on this board. You know, I think JT, Kamara, Bijan even. You might even be able to offer that for Bijan, Eckler. throw that package around and try and get some of these guys on your roster using that package. I think you maybe get a bite on one of those. Got Gibbs, Swift, Javonte. Oh, that's the same one. Thank you, Jameer. Appreciate you. And yeah, Puka is definitely Puka, and Stevenson might get you Bijan. The way people are treating Bijan right now, I'm telling you, he's attainable in trade for the first time all off season long and in season long. Traded Achane to get Ridley. I love that. Give me Ridley. 217. T-Law, Bijan, Gibbs, Ridley, Debo, Ferguson, Hall, Nico, Gabe Davis, Kincaid, Bigsby. What can I do? I'm 1 and 2. No one is performing. I'm panicking. I'm a panic Peter. T-Law, Bijan, Gibbs, Ridley. It's a really good team though, bro. Would I trade Nico and like You're almost forced to ride this out. Debo on the high. Like, go get a Kamara and Christian Watson for Debo and Nico. You know what I'm saying? Like, would I poke around at the players that have not yet performed in JT and Kamara using Debo to get an additional player? They have to give you someone else, though. Debo's playing that good, but that might be a move that helps you feel confident at running back and also gives you back the wide receiver. But Debo's playing like a baller, bro. You can't get rid of that wide receiver crew with Bijan as your core and the reason you could stay afloat. T-Law for Anthony Richardson or Love, sure. And if you've got to give up a Nico, you got to give up a Gabe Davis, you got to give up something like that, I would do it. I don't know if anybody's going to do that. Maybe Love. I think Love's attainable. But past that, I think I ride out the T-Law train a little longer because you can try and get another piece somewhere and just bet on that happening. Hall will come around eventually, I believe, but maybe not right now. We don't really know. You can't really sell high except for Debo, so it just depends, man. If you can get one of those RBs, Kamara, JT, Eckler, in some sort of deal. Debo for Eckler straight up, you could try that if you wanted. I think if he sits out a week, his owner is going to be panicking. Eckler is a great buy low right now. He's going to be fed a ton when he comes back. Eckler is probably one of the best buy lows in fantasy right now. Start 2, bench 1, week 4. Garrett Wilson, Pickens, Tank Dell. Start 2, bench 1. You got to start. You got to put Garrett Wilson on the bench in this situation. Dell's playing too great. You can't have Dell on the bench. Pickens is playing great too. Josh Allen, Waddle. Thank you for the super chat. Josh Allen, Waddle, London, MT, Addison, J. Will, Dobbs, K9. K9, Brees, JT, Kelsey. I'm 0-3, dropping all fab on A-Chain. I don't blame you for doing that. I would drop all full load drop.
Initiate full load drop.
Full load drop on A-Chain for sure. You're 0-3. Look, you're 0-3, but you had Kelsey out and even week 2 hampered, and then finally came back in week 3 now that his girlfriend's in the stands and things are full go. Kelsey, Operation Kelsey's back on track. JT hasn't played for you. K9's been trying to carry you. Addison's good value. Waddle's coming back. Josh Allen. This team's phenomenal. Like, you're 0-3. I would ride with this team any day of the week. Is there a move to make? I mean, maybe you trade like you wait on Brees probably. Rashad White and maybe a London. Rashad White and maybe I don't know, when you get A-Chain, maybe you could use him or just put him in your lineup. But could you trade like Brees Hall and London for a Taylor? Or not Taylor, you have JT. Eckler, a Kamara. Probably not going to get Eckler. Kamara, Lamb. Could you trade Addison and Brees for Lamb? Could you trade Addison and Brees for Devontae Smith? Could you trade for Ridley on the cheap? Part of me thinks you could trade London and Brees for Ridley. I do think you could get that done. And with A-Chain coming in, that would be a remarkable lineup that you got. Waddle, Ridley, Josh Allen, A-Chain, however you want to say his name, and JT coming back with Kelsey. That would be an unstoppable team. I use Rashad White to the best of my ability right now in a trade. We got Dopey coming in. Drop Matt for A-Chan. I have Sharbs, Ford, Johnson. Drop Matt. Who's Matt? Matt who? Matt Breda? Like, what are we doing here? Drop Breda for A-Chain? Yeah. Who's Matt? Come on, Dopey. Who's Matt? Can someone help me? Who's Matt? Madison? Madison or Matt Breda? If it's Madison or Breda, drop him for A-Chain. What do we look like on here? Not only have we talked about Madison being someone we cut bait on, but bro, we've sat here and said, what are the odds that this gentleman right here, Devon A-Chain, however you want to say his name, what are the odds that A-Chain is the win-a-league player in fantasy football 2023? The first 10 we've ever given this year is A-Chain. Go get him and do it live. Go get him and do it live. Absolute must. Have Sharps, Ford, and Johnson. Ford's a good sell right now. Matthew Stafford, Madison. I think he means Madison. But thank you, Dopey. Appreciate your super chat. You know I love you, pal. 1 and 2 PPR being offered. My Ford and Flowers for A-Chan and Kirk. I'd take that and I run. Absolutely run. Or do I try for one of the other deals? IR, Puka, running back Swift. No, I do that. I take that and I run. I run, bro. Run. I'm not saying I don't love Flowers, but A-Chan's interesting. Kirk is playing well enough. You got to take that. That's an absolute smash. Thank you for your super chat. I love that. I don't even want to like influence you to go in another direction because that's an absolute home run. Then you could maybe even flip Kirk. He's playing well enough. I just traded Swift and ETN for ETN. Is that bad? No, that's pretty even. Like, honestly, I waver on that. I'd probably go to the chat on that one. Should I trade Swift for ETN or ETN for Swift? I'd probably go, chat, what do you think? It's that close. Right now, Swift's balling and ETN's balling. So they're both top 10 running backs. It's almost like, what's the point trade? But there's no way one got over on the other, and there's no way I can tell you that one's going to bust over the other because Swift is playing out of his mind. ETN, they both got equal injury risk. They both got equal running back by committee risk. They both, Swift's in the better offense, but there is more talent to spread around to in terms of like the pass catching, so Swift's only going to get like the runs, whereas I think ETN's going to get more receptions, but he is going to get the touchdowns vultured. So like they're both getting that running back by committee treatment, but they're both still responding. I love it. Either way, I love either side. I traded D. Adams and Pitts and Warren for ETN and Laporta. Look, I'm going to admit Adams is playing really, really good. But I do like the ETN Laporta side. That is a pretty nice side. I have Wilson Tank. I could Smitty approve either side. Matthew, just like the other super chatter, that's very even. I'm not going to say you got him. I'm not going to say he got you. It's very, very even. Almost a what's the point trade. Unless you need a tight end, then it made a lot of sense for you. $10 hauler from the Rickmeister coming in strong. Live in Legend. You got 30 seconds, pal, because I got so many super chats. I'm behind. Live in Legend.
Hey man, Smitty, hate to bother you, brother. What are we doing with Dustin Shields right now, man? What should I do with him, man?
Dustin Shields?
That's all I want to know. Yeah, Dustin Shields, man. That's what he's been for the whole fantasy season. What should I do with that brother, man? I appreciate your advice.
Who's Dustin Shields?
He's the Chicago Bears quarterback.
That's what
I haven't seen Justin Fields all year.
Justin! I thought you said Dustin Dustin. It sounded like you.
That's his name. He's been so rusty. He's
Dustin Shields. Oh, I got you. I got you, bro. You got me on that one. Dustin Shields. The cobwebs and dust. I don't know what you do with them. I mean, look. Have I missed on Dustin Shields? Have I missed on him? Yes. I'm sorry. I wish I could land 100%. That's a great name, bro. I wish I could land 100% of what I say and do. I don't. And again, I take it hard. Like, and I wear it on my sleeve, and I don't hide it. I don't come out here and go, everything's great, everything's fine. Like, I came out here. Like, on Sundays, sometimes when things go bad for a player, I come out, even though we have 2, 3, 4, 5 guys popping off that I love, and then one guy doing bad on the Moon Man list, I come out and I take it hard. And I take it hard because it matters to me that some of you drafted a player that I said to draft that didn't do well. I take it hard. But what are you going to do? You have to move on. We can't cry over spilled milk. There are still plenty of players to buy low. There are still plenty of moon men doing well. And honestly, at this point, he's on the bench. Or if you cut him for I've had people say, do I pick up Love for Fields? Or Anthony Richardson got released. Should I pick up Anthony Richardson for Fields? Of course you do. You got to move on, adjust and adapt. I still think Fields could find a place in fantasy to score a bunch of points running the football, but it's time to move on, and maybe circle back if we see signs of life. But right now we don't, and we got to move on. We can't hang on to it. I'm not one to hang on to it. I'm definitely one to adjust and adapt and react. But anyway. All right, hey.
I'm sorry to bother you. I was asking because he playing Denver, the team that Tua just gave like 90 points to. So I was like, man, should I bench this guy again?
Well, for what though? For what?
I've been starting golf over him.
Yeah, you got to start golf over him. Golf. You guys always get me saying golf when you say golf. All right, man.
Yeah, I always say golf.
I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to play it by ear. Let's wait and see. Let's wait later in the week, okay? But definitely, you definitely lean toward golf right now. But we'll have to see. All right, later. Appreciate you. All right, somebody said they're waiting on the super chat for an hour. I'm sorry, brother. I'm going as fast as I can. Hey, Smitty, I've got Kamara. Richardson, and Watson hopefully available this week. If so, planning to sit Fields, Hall, Elijah Moore, and a non-PPR too soon. I mean, no, it's not too soon. I'm definitely starting Richardson over Fields. I would cut Fields for Richardson if Richardson were out and I had to make that move. Watson, I definitely start Watson if he's playing, but we got to see if he's going to be limited. But thank you for your super chat, and Christian Watson's to be determined in terms of volume, you know what I mean? So definitely love the idea of both of those in your lineup. Just traded Herbert and Pacheco for Waddle. Now I have Love, Richardson, Pollard, Kamara. That's how you do it. That's how you do it, Travis. That's how you draft and you draft and execute on 2-for-1s, and you get yourself a whole bunch of quarterbacks that you can trade while everybody's in quarterback shamble zone, and you come in and everybody laughs at us for drafting Jordan Love too early as a backup. Now look at us. For anybody that has Justin Fields, about 80% of you have Jordan Love, and for that I feel very grateful, for the Fields prediction busting, that a lot of you, 80% of you probably have Jordan Love, which is fantastic for me to at least feel like, in the Breece Hall injury from last year, and Javonte Williams, when they tore their ACLs, about 80% of you had freaking, you still had, Kenneth Walker, and there's solace in that. Okay, trade Dak, Addison, Kamara for T-Law, Ridley, Ramondre. I take the T-Law, Ridley, Ramondre side. Even though I love the Kamara side, in terms of Kamara, there's still a lot of unknowns there, even with Kamara. So that's an easy trade. Not that I wouldn't try and trade Ramondre for Kamara or JT or something like that, or Bijan, and try and do some big package there, but I definitely like that other side. What are the odds Kirk Cousins gets shipped to the Jets? It's not impossible, but the only problem is they love Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers plans to come back, so it makes it complicated to make a 2024 move, but they should do it. Trade Puka for Swift. I would say give me Swift, but I love both of them. Absolutely love both of them. Also, who can I target to get Laporta? I have Kelsey, so I don't need him. I would definitely go after using Laporta, wide receiver, and Laporta for Devontae Smith. Christian Watson straight up. A-Chain straight up. A-Chan straight up. Ridley, you might have to give up a piece. Cooper Kupp, you could almost even do that straight up, but give up a piece, be fine. Those would be fantastic moves. Gibbs, Hall straight up for Laporta. And if you have to give up a tiny bit, sure. This right here from Tucker, Dynasty PPR 12 team, who wins? Kamara for a mid 2021st. Depends if you can win now. I like both sides, Tucker. If you can win now, Kamara's fantastic, even in a Dynasty, because he helps you win cash money. So it's an even trade. It just depends on if you can win now or not. Smitty, my boy, appreciate all you do, my guy, but I'm in a bind and I need you. Start one, Love or Fields? Love. It's not even a question. Love. Do I think Fields bounces back? He could. I don't know that I cut him in every situation. You know what I'm saying? But Love is, I've been saying start Love freaking all week 3, So obviously I feel like that same way this week when you don't know what in the heck's going on with the situation there in Chicago. So 100% easy call. You start Love, you do it live. This one from Lucas. Lucas, appreciate your super chat. Lucas says 0-3 Tua, Saquon, Gibbs, Warren, Cook, Pirine, Cooper, Godwin, DJ Moore, London. There's a lot of struggles right here. Number one wants Waller. Trade Saquon for Ridley and Achane. Absolutely. You trade away. Look, you get Ridley and Achane for Achane for Saquon. Home freaking run. Absolute smash, Lucas. I couldn't have done it better myself. I like that trade a lot. Lucio, appreciate you. Trade 2 QBs, PPR, running back Bijan, Gibbs, Ford, Hall, Algier, Devontae Smith, Tank Dell Flowers, Dodson, Garrett Wilson, QB, Jalen Hurts. Look, you got some strength in your quarterback and Bijan, and I still believe Gibbs. Ford, Hall, tradable. Devontae Smith, hold. Tank Dell, tradable, but hold. Flowers, probably hold. Atwell, tradable. Atwell and maybe Ford for one player. Atwell and Dell and Ford, maybe for Ridley, or for a Atwell for Christian Watson, Ford for Christian Watson, Hall and Atwell for Kamara or JT. All three of them, Ford, Atwell, and Hall for JT or Kamara, honestly, or for Ridley. I'm just packaging those three together over and over and over until I get somebody to sell a Cooper Kupp. To sell a Christian Watson, I wouldn't do all three. Achane, I go and get him using maybe two of those guys. Those moves potentially win a league. We got some $20 haulers coming in strong. RS, again, thank you for your $20 hauler. I don't know if this is an additional one. I'll have to see and look for you, or if that's the same one. Thank you for dropping that. We got Lego coming in with a $20 hauler. Both of you, RS and Lego, to the freaking moon. Let's go.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Unbelievable. You guys are unbelievable. Lego says just traded Javonte and Nico for AJ Brown. Woo! Now starting. Woo! Woo!
You've just been Smitty approved.
Jeez. Just traded Javonte and Nico for AJ Brown. This should have been done before the week. Now I don't know how you did that. Did the guy, does he have the game DVR'd? Is it recorded and he hasn't played it yet? This is a phenomenal move. This is how you win a league. That's how you win a league. Absolute smash. Lego to the moon. Lego, appreciate your super chat. RS, I don't know if RS sent another super chat. Let me search for RS real quickly and see if there's another question here. RS, thank you so much for the super chat. RS sent a super, and then here's a question. I have first waiver wire, so I take Tank Dell or Achane. Take Achane. Take Achane. Achane. Everybody's getting mad about how everybody's pronouncing it. Announcers have said Achane for God knows how long. He reportedly says Achane. It's okay. Either way, you take him. It's a full load drop. We talked about this earlier. That's why I just had it on screen and I just took it off. If we go to the waiver wire show, which your boy put on screen just a little while ago, there's a waiver wire video. We talk about the top waiver pickups of the week. Here it is again, because I can always recall it whenever we need it, because this is how we roll. We do waiver wire better than any show out there. Achane, sitting here at the top, needs to be the number one pickup of the year. And when we bring it over to the odds of being the number one ad of the entire season meter, we say he's a 10 out of 10. Now, Dell is an 8, a 7 or 8, probably an 8 out of 10. I love Dell, but 10 out of 10 odds of being the best pickup of the year. Achane needs to be grabbed. He's the man, the myth, the legend. Thank you very much for your super chat. You have a great team, RS. You have a great freaking team. And I appreciate you coming in and dropping the $20 wad on screen. Ford, any other trades you can do? You have Hurts, Jacobs. I trade Jacobs personally. Chase and Devontae Smith's fantastic. Puka Nacua is tradable. I would probably, if I was you, go grab Achane. If you get Achane, you're to the moon. But am I trading Jacobs away while I can? Yes. Am I trading Jacobs and Nacua for Eckler? Am I trading Jacobs for Ridley or Kamara or JT, you bet your bottom dollar I am. Those would be moves that would help you further navigate and cement yourself into the top elite of the elite in your league. Appreciate you. Alonzo with the $20 hauler. Thanks again to Lego for dropping that super chat here. Just traded Javonte and Nico for AJ Brown. Just a phenomenal job by Lego. Lego is unbelievable. Nice job, Lego. You are the man, the myth, the legend. Adam Baker with a $20 hauler. $20 haulers get immediate assistance. I'm sorry, that's the way the world works. It's corrupt. But it is what it is. It's political. It is what it is. Alonzo coming in with a 20. So is Adam. You're going to get a shared standing O because I'm trying to go as fast as I can. Let's go to both of you. Adam and Alonzo.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Adam and Alonzo, appreciate you. Alonzo, hey Smitty, 12-man PPR double flex, 1 and 2 this season. Love, Fields, Gibbs, Stevenson, JJ, Pickens, Hopkins, Moss, Henry, Kincaid, getting Achane off waivers. Any improvements, get Achane. Do it live. Full load drop. Do it live. Unbelievable job. Loves your starter. Gibbs, Stevenson. I probably look to maybe trade Stevenson, hold Gibbs, trade Stevenson for JT, for Eckler, for Kamara. And what do you give up? I don't know. You got to kind of just throw some things in. Hopkins, sure. Hopkins and Stevenson for one of those players. Pickens, I try and keep them, but what I use them. Pacheco and Hopkins together for one player. That would be amazing if you could keep Stevenson or even trade Stevenson for Ridley straight up. Stevenson for Ridley straight up, and then you go ahead and trade Pacheco and Hopkins for maybe a struggling player that we still believe in. Like Devontae Smith would be a target for me using those combinations. Ridley would be a target for me. Waddle would be a target for me. And let me just see. I keep forgetting what you have, JJ. You're unbelievable with this potential of this squad. If you make the right move here, you're going to be in good positioning. If things don't work out well, if let's say you go another week or two and you're not doing well, you might look to trade Justin Jefferson. You could even do this now to get a combination of JT and an elite wide receiver like Ridley. JT and Ridley for JJ would not be the end of the world for you, and it would give you some depth. Kamara and like preferably like a Diggs and Kamara, Diggs and JT versus even a Ridley and JT. Hey Smitty, 12-team half PPR Superflex auction keeper league. Team is QB is Love, Purdy, Deshaun, JJ, AJB. DK, Tank Dell, Flowers. You got some good wide receiver trade value here. ETN, Walker, phenomenal. Hall, Javonte, Sharps, Ford. Okay, any trades JT owner is in shambles. Go get JT using one of the quarterbacks because I bet you if they're in shambles, partly because of their quarterback situation. If not, then you just keep using the other pieces here. But you throw him Deshaun Watson. You throw him Tank Dell, you go after JT. You throw in Javonte if you have to. You throw in Ford if you have to. But you keep throwing little different offers using those combinations of players. Don't trade ETN. Don't trade Walker. Don't trade JJ. Don't trade AJB. I probably would use DK if you needed to, but almost in a 1-for-1 trade for JT or something like that. But I try to use the QB and the other pieces. Adam, thank you for your super chat. You are the man, the myth, the legend. Rodney with a $20 hauler. I have Fields, Javonte, Pierce, and Pierce, Diggs, Thomas, Everett. I'm 0-3. Should I try and trade Diggs for more pieces? You definitely need another QB for right now. I don't know if Love's out there still. It's crazy that people say, do I pick up Love after 3 straight weeks, more than 3 straight weeks, all offseason, saying that this guy's going to be a potential top 5 to 10 quarterback. I don't know if you remember the show where I said that I'd rather have Love than Deshaun Watson, and people went nuts on me in my own chat. Love's doing amazing. You're going to have to make a trade. I hate to give you the bad news, but this team is not good enough to win. I think you know that. The record supports that. Rodney, I appreciate your $20 hauler. You need to trade Diggs for that Bijan and player, for that Ridley and player, for that Eckler and player, for that Kamara and player, for the JT and player. Those are the players to go get. An Achane and an elite wide receiver like Ridley is good enough. If you can do that, that would be a fantastic move. I don't know that I would stop there because I think you need one more trade. I'd probably sell Moss on the high as well. Moss and a player for Achane would be amazing. Appreciate you dropping that super chat, my broski, with the $20 holler. You guys are absolutely amazing. Let's see. Garrett Wilson or Devontae Smith. Garrett Wilson for Watson. Look, Devontae Smith by a freaking mile. He's on this list for a reason. If you can get Devontae Smith using Garrett Wilson, I highly doubt you can. This is probably you cooking up the offer, and I don't blame you. You're going to have to throw in more. Would I trade Garrett Wilson for Christian Watson? You bet your bottom dollar. And I've got some potential moves on the horizon, a video on how to trade some of these. It's going to be a trading video. How to trade. What is the best way to trade this week? That video is coming. Christian Watson will be a savior of a lot of these trades. Bravo with the $20 hauler. 0-3 at Burrow, Bijan, White, Waddle, Higgins, Goddard, Dell, Gainwell, Pacheco, Dotson, Reed, Love. First on the waiver wire, picking up Achane. Who should I drop for him? I'm probably dropping, if this is my team, either Reed or maybe Gainwell. It is what it is. You've got a very stacked team. There's not a lot of players to drop. If it was me, I'd probably drop Reed. I think Christian Watson coming back. Thank you for the $20 hauler.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Appreciate you, my guy. Sorry I'm speeding through the celebration. You are the man, the myth, the legend. Thank you for dropping that super chat. Joshua coming in strong with a $10 freaking holler. Joshua says, Daniel, let's see here. Daniel Jones, Dak, his quarterbacks are in shambles, bro. Bijan, Kamara, Gibbs, good. A.J. Brown, T. Higgins, not bad. Waller, Addison. I'd probably trade Waller, because people are in shambles at tight end. So maybe you could trade like a Danny Dimes or a Dak and Waller to get just like a struggling T. Law. That would be the move I would make. You have an offer for Hurts, Monty, and Ayuk for your Daniel Jones, Kamara, Addison. I would take that. Look, as much as I love Kamara, bro, Hurts, Monty, smash. That puts you in such a comfortable position. Hurts can carry you each week. Absolutely do that trade. Other ideas, maybe I flip Monty after that, try and go after Achane and like Christian Watson type of player for Monty. Ayuk is fantastic. He's pretty crafty. I think this move alone puts you in nice positioning, but I still would potentially shop like Monty and Ayuk for a JT or something like that. Maybe the JT owner's like, I'm not sitting on this. Yeah, that's crazy. Realistic wide receivers to target with Pacheco. Realistic would be like Christian Watson, Laporta, and possibly London package. Maybe all of those together, get Devonta Smith on the cheap. Devonta Smith is definitely a go-get. Lamb's a go-get. Cooper Kupp's a potential. Waddle. I think all those, if you include Laporta, are very, very solid. So definitely shop Laporta right now. Laporta's value's to the moon. So if you don't get something for it now, you're gonna probably regret it. I have Ramondre, Chase, Andrews, Javonte, total TD this year. Two unreal. To make matters worse, my QB is Fields, somehow 2-1. Nice job. Am I trading Waddle, Chase, and Olave? No. Andrews, maybe. Maybe Andrews is your way out of this. I don't know if you could trade Andrews for Laporta and get another player like Achane or maybe even like a Ridley or a Devonta Smith or something. I would toy around with whether the Laporta owner would even want to do that. Maybe they like Laporta more than Andrews. But I would be tempted to hit the waiver wire, pick up a tight end. Maybe Kincaid got dropped and trade Andrews straight up for a player. Ramondre and Andrews for a Pollard, who is kind of disappointing his owners, to be honest with you, and they shouldn't. He had 100 yards, no touchdowns. People are upset about the touchdowns. That's an opportunity. Do I go get two players for Andrews, like an Achane and a freaking, like I said, Devontae Smith, or maybe you go after a Gibbs and Christian Watson using Andrews? That would be a phenomenal potential move. This one from Adam. Adam, trade Jefferson for Eckler. 768 of you in here. We could have that thumbs up button push a little bit more. 234. Appreciate you all being here. Trade Jefferson for Eckler and Waddle. I would probably say, and Christian Watson. I would say that's it's hard to give up JJ, but that is a great trade in a sense if you can't win with JJ. I would even try and get a little bit more just because JJ can. But, bro, I mean, if you're losing with JJ, maybe you make the trade. If you're 2-1 or 3-0, then obviously don't change anything. But that's a tough move not to make. Waddle and Eckler, it's a lot. So I would probably do that. Smitty got offered Ford and Brees for Derrick Henry. That's not enough, because Brees isn't playing well. Ford is okay, scores, but he's not getting the yardage. I would say get more. I don't think that's enough. I like the idea. I would trade Derrick Henry away. He's definitely a get-rid-of player. He's been a player I've avoided all offseason. But unlike Eckler, I'm not going after Derrick Henry. We're going after Eckler. We let people buy him. We did not draft him, and now we're swooping in to take him. Do you think I could get Swift and Waddle for Ridley? Swift and Waddle or Ridley. So Ridley or Swift. So Swift and Waddle or Swift and Ridley for Love and Wilson. Maybe. Yeah. I mean, I certainly would try it, especially if you don't need Love. Do you like that idea? I do, Joe. I think I'd take that deal for sure. And Miss Smitty's asking me about dinner real quick. Hold on one second. Let's see. Okay. Sorry. Let's see here. Packers, appreciate you. 770 of you in the building. Start 3 this week. PPR, Achane, Tank, Brees, Gibbs. I would go Achane, Tank, and probably Gibbs until Brees gets on his horse in that order, if you need that order to help you. Michael Vaughn, appreciate you. I got him, traded Madison and Nico for Lamb and Khalil. I'm surprised you asked for Khalil at all. You know, just getting greedy there.
Got him.
Not that Khalil isn't worth anything, but I mean, maybe that was the throw-in. So anyway. Okay, appreciate you, Michael. Nathan, Jets to sign Trevor Siemian. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's better. It's honestly better. It's at least maybe he could throw the football a little further than Zach Wilson, but it's not a good move. I don't know why they don't go and get somebody better than that. Like even Colin Kaepernick, I'd rather take the chance on Colin Kaepernick. I'd rather take the chance on him. AR, Bijan, Kamara, Adams, Smitty, Hawkinson, Puka, Bench, Pickens, Hollywood, JT, 12-man, $100 buy-in, trade for JT, only gave up Sutton and Dalvin Cook. Unbelievable. Sutton and Dalvin Cook for JT, that's how you make moves. AR, Bijan, Kamara, Adams, sit on this team, let it do work. Don't make a move. I love it, Professor Patty. I wouldn't even move a thing on that team. That team is ready to rumble, and you're going to take people by storm. My bench is Fields, DJ Moore, Javonte, Pacheco, JSN, Kincaid, Tank Dell. My starting running backs are Gibbs and Swift. Need a running back. Who do I drop for Achane? I would probably say, and you got to pick him up. He's 100% grab. I would say of these players, there's not a lot to cut here. Assuming that you can't start Kincaid. I don't know. You can't really cut Fields because what if you need the backup quarterback? I would say probably Kincaid. I hate to say it. Or JSN. Maybe cut JSN if you think backup tight end is going to be harder to fill later. But JSN's still a league winner, and I want everybody to keep an eye on him. Monitor JSN if you have to cut him. Should I trade Garrett Wilson and Hawkinson for Lamar and Evans? I would take that trade. I already have Laporta and can replace Hawkinson with. Okay, I like that trade. So trade Garrett Wilson and Hawkinson for Lamar and Mike Evans. If you need a quarterback and you're in shambles at QB, at least Lamar can get points scored. So yes, Raul coming in strong. Smitty, I'm 0-3. They're offering Mahomes for Amon-Ra. I have Fields, Stroud, Kamara, Javonte. I would take Mahomes. I think Mahomes, he single-handedly can keep you in games and win you weeks. So I would take Mahomes as much as I love Amon-Ra. You're in shambles at QB. This solves your problems. You'll breathe easy at night. He was 0-3. Owner had CMC and K9 panicked wide receiver. Nice job, Patty. Appreciate you. Nice work, pal. You did good. Patty, GM of the week, potentially. In the running, at least. What's up, Smitty? Worried about Law Dog? Give Elijah Moore to the receive Anthony Richardson. Of course. Like, even if you were to want to start Law Dog again or believe in him, this is the biggest home run trade you could come across. This would be probably one of the trades of the week and a got him moment, Uncle Philly.
Got him.
Got him moment, Philly. A total got him moment. Appreciate you very much for dropping the super chat. Let's see here. $20 hauler from Ken. Ken, appreciate you. Let's go, Ken.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Sorry about the less theatrics, trying to go through these as fast as I can, but still giving you that $20 hauler screen. Thank you, my man. Trade Tank Dell, London, and Warren for Achane and DJ Moore in a heartbeat. Look. maybe I shouldn't say it that way. I love Tank Dell. I like London still. I like Warren, but Achane could be a league winner. And not to say Dell can't help you win a league, but I shouldn't say heartbeat, but I think Achane's good enough. DJ Moore is still a good receiver and still a potential very undervalued player to get. So I would take that. Thoughts on starting? Thank you for your $20 holler, Ken. Thoughts on starting Roschon against Denver over Lockett? Not yet, Overcome. Not yet. He's a good stash and hold, but Roschon isn't ready for prime time yet, and it could be a couple weeks, 10-man, it could be this week. It could be, but we got to wait, I think. They're going to eventually try and run the ball, and then I think they do it through Roschon. 10-man, half PPR, traded Puka and Kamara for Ridley. Look, I could get behind both sides. Ridley and JT. Oh, my God.
Got him.
Order in the court. That is a horrible trade on his part. You got him good. Traded Puka and Kamara for Ridley and JT. That's a phenomenal trade. Look, I like Puka, and Puka is great and all, but at the end of the day, when Kupp comes back and the odds of Stafford staying healthy all year, there's a lot of moving parts to that. And I like Kamara, but JT and Kamara are very close. I wouldn't say, maybe I shouldn't say that the other owner screwed up or anything, but that's a good move. You did pretty good. Smitty to the moon. He's the real deal. Thank you, Jacob. Appreciate you for dropping the super chat. Jacob to the moon. Carlito's Way coming in strong. Have Fields and Richardson. Thinking of picking up Stroud tonight. I don't mind that. Have three-headed monster. I don't know if I'd call Fields a monster at this point, but yes, I would definitely grab. Love isn't available. Make sure you pick up Stroud, even if just to play defense. But Richardson is your new starting quarterback. Don't stray from Richardson. He will lead you down the road, the right road. I almost have a completely different team than the one I drafted already in my favorite league. Attaboy, Overcome, way to adjust and adapt. That's how you do it. This one here from Casio, $5 holler. Which trade would you commit to? I have Love, Higgins, or Addison for Purdy, Ridley. Love, Higgins, Addison. I'd definitely take the Purdy, Ridley side, personally, assuming you don't need Love as your starter, or Love, Higgins, or Addison for Fields, Waddle. I'd probably rather have the Fields, Waddle side. Love, Higgins, Addison. Love, Higgins, or Addison. Okay, so Addison and Love for Waddle. That's the one I like the most. If you've got to do Higgins and Love for Waddle, I'd probably still do that trade. And this is all assuming you're absolutely good to go at quarterback, because I love Jordan Love. Give Rachaad White and Puka for Aaron Jones. I would in a millisecond. As much as I love Puka, I'd definitely go get Aaron Jones. Superflex non-PPR trade. I get JJ for K9. You got to take JJ. That's a smash. I mean, who's going to do that? You need a running back so bad you're not going to ask for more. You crushed him. You got him.
Got him.
I like K9. K9's playing unbelievable, but you get JJ, that's unbelievable. I wouldn't be surprised if the league tried to veto that. Relating to my other chat, what can I send for Lamb? Try and include it in the message, Raul, if you can, because by the time I get to it, it's so far gone. Let's see here. So everything probably needs to be in the same super chat for ease of use, if you don't mind. Smitty, I'm 0-3. They're offering Mahomes for Amon-Ra. Fields, Stroud. Relating to my other chat, what can I send for Lamb? Lamb, Javonte, and Ford and Hall. Ford and probably Nakua and Ford for Lamb. Garrett Wilson and Ford. Those are all easy peasy ads in Dell and Ford. Those are all very, very easy to do, my broski. Thank you for your super chat roll. You are the man, the myth, the legend. Appreciate all your support. Thank you so much. $10 hauler from James. James coming in strong with that 10 wad. James, appreciate you. To the moon you go, young man. T-Law, Bijan, Gibbs, Keenan Allen, Olave, Wilson, Hunter Henry, Love, Jordan Love, AR5, Hopkins, Kincaid, Achane. 2 weeks without a kicker because I don't want to drop one. You're 2-1. That's a crazy move. I like this team. Gibbs, Bijan, Keenan Allen, Olave, Wilson. We trade Wilson potentially. Hunter Henry if you could get rid of him. Wilson and Dell, Nico and Wilson. Jordan Love is very tradable right now. You go to the QB needy teams. You got to start Jordan Love though, if you can, or AR5. I mean, AR5's your starter. Jordan Love you trade away because you're not going to get as much for AR5. Jordan Love, Tank Dell. Jordan Love, Hunter Henry. Jordan Love and freaking Hopkins. Go get Devontae Smith, go get Ridley, go get Eckler, go get Kamara, go get JT. Those are the moves to make. Keep taking stabs at those 4, 5, 6 players that we've been talking about all show with your depth without touching the lineup, and you're going to be to the moon. Love Fields, Bijan, JT, Roshan Sharps, Garrett Wilson, Watson. JSN got offered Bijan for CD and Kamara. I would take CD and Kamara. I hate to say it. It's not to say I don't believe in Bijan, but that is a hell of a package, and it's a win a league move. Smitty approved. Where do you rank Elijah Moore on waiver ads? Probably like, I don't even know if he's going to be in like my top 5 or 6 ads, but he's still very, very nice. Like if you need a wide receiver, but he's not like in the category of where I'm ranking the best pickup of the year or even acknowledging that as an option. But like wide receiver 4, 5, 6, 3, anywhere in there depending on who's available. But not a home run, but a good move. Hey man, running back JT, Dalvin Cook, Henry, Mostert. Trade Mostert on the high or roll with the hot hand. I don't mind that, but I would, if you're in need, trade him on the high. Now Ridley, Evans, and Kupp are fantastic. Offered Ford and Brees for Henry. Ford and Brees. Not enough for Derrick Henry. I do trade Derrick Henry. I'm going across position because teams in shambles at running back will overpay using wide receiver talent, not using running back talent. So unfortunately for you, you got to go for a wide receiver. That means you probably have to make some sort of additional trade, but it is what it is. And I would probably, or you go after Achane and a wide receiver. So you go get Waddle or Ridley type players and get Achane, and now you got him to throw in next to JT, and then you can make some other trade. But that's probably the way to go. Target a couple low-end running backs, and then go get the wide receiver coupled with them. Other than that, Henry for Aaron Jones, Henry for Eckler, Henry for JT. You already got JT. Henry for Kamara, but you get an additional piece with giving up Henry in most cases. So that's the way I roll with that. Appreciate you for dropping that super chat. Thank you so much. But get rid of Henry and do it live. Rax Poker coming in strong with a $5 hauler. Burrow, Kenneth Walker, Achane, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Ridley, DJ Moore, Garrett Wilson, C. Watson, Kadarius Toney. This is a really good squad. Anthony Richardson. Try to trade Burrow away now that he's kind of returned. Burrow and Tank Dell, Burrow and DJ Moore, Burrow and maybe a player like, I don't know, offered Dell and DJ Moore for Eckler. I like that. I give up Dell and DJ Moore for Eckler. I'd even give up a little more. I would throw in a freaking Burrow, Dell and DJ Moore for Eckler. Is Garrett Wilson, DJ Moore for Bijan too much? No, that's not too much. And I'd even throw in a Burrow in that situation if you could get something back in return. You know what I mean? Definitely like those ideas. Those are definitely the way to go. Also go after indifferent offers like the Kamara JT types as well. Thank you for the super chat. Jason Montoya, appreciate you with a $10 hauler. You're 3-0, so I can already tell you don't overreact or do something you don't need to do. Winners, all wins are nail biters and let this team ride. Richardson, Bijan, Gibbs, St. Brown, Dell, Hunter Henry, Achane, benches, Fields, Javonte London. Yeah, but I mean, there's always moves to be made. I mean, Pickens is looking good right now. London, not very tradable at this moment in time. Flowers is looking good. Like, would I be tempted to trade Tank Dell and Tank Dell and Gibbs for like a JT or Kamara or something like that? I probably would. Ridley would be a great go get. You could always sell like St. Brown for Ridley and an Achane. You could always sell. You got Achane. Damn it. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably sit on that team another week. Let Pickens, let Flowers, let London, let Achane get some value. Dell's unbelievable. Gibbs, I still believe in. It's a good team. I think maybe you wait, Jason. There's not a lot of like sell high opportunity there. RS coming in with another $10 hauler. Thank you for the super chats. Have my first waiver claim. Choose Achane or Dell. Oh, I already did this one. Appreciate you. Unbelievable super chat droppage tonight. Thank you so much, RS. Again, Achane to the moon. Definitely full load drop too. Ty Lee, Kyron, and DJ Moore for Hawkinson and JSN. I would take Hawkinson and JSN over Kyron and DJ. Yeah, I don't know. It depends. If you need a tight end, I take the Hawkinson side. If you need a running back, I take the Kyron side. What that means is it's a very even trade depending on the position of need. So I'd say do the trade whatever your team needs positionally. 3-0, 12-man, full PPR. I got Mahomes, Barkley, Achane, Swift, Ford, Pacheco, Keenan Allen, Olave, Nakua, Shaheed, Dell. Do I make any moves? Thank you, Smitty. Appreciate you. 3-0, you're looking good, right? Barkley, do I trade Barkley away for Eckler, JT, Kamara? Absolutely, and you get more. You probably don't get more if you trade for Eckler, and I'd do that straight up and wait since you're 3-0. JT, you might get something else additionally. Kamara, maybe a little less, but you still could. I'm definitely making moves for those players right there. Pacheco, in addition to Barkley, for something, sure. Keenan Allen, sell high for Ridley and get a piece. I know you already have Achane, but like a player like that, I'm not saying that Keenan Allen won't continue. I've already taken my lap on how he's done so far this year. I still think he's a big injury risk, and at the end of the day, that will determine whether let's just put it this way. I take a lap right now, right here, right now, no matter what, because if you drafted him, he's exploded, and you could sell him high if you still think he'll get hurt. So at the end of the day, it's a lap for me, because even if I did want to trade him before he got injured, drafting him, letting him ball out, and enjoying that first month of football before you made a trade, that's on me. So Keenan Allen is still a good sell high. Keenan Allen and Ford for like a Ridley who's playing lesser than Keenan Allen, and then you get, I know you have him, but an A-chain type of player. But I like your team so far. Barkley's the player to move, and JT, Eckler, Kamara are the players to go get. Thank you for your super chat. Dudley with a $5 hauler, currently 1-2 in my league, trading away Rachaad White plus Anthony Richardson for Bijan. I would take that if you're good to go at quarterback. So absolutely. Nice move buying low on Bijan Robinson. Elevation says traded Garrett Wilson for Ford, Zay Flowers in London. I don't hate that move at all. Garrett Wilson's a ways away if he ever returns. Fields will be the most athletic T-Mobile employee ever, says Paul Wolfer using his 4-month membership question. Thank you so much, pal. Appreciate you. Traded Madison, Ayuk, and Dillon for Pittman and Watson. I think that's okay. I think Ayuk is going to be very good. And so Watson and Ayuk are very close to me. In fact, if someone said, so I think it's even. If someone would have said, hey, do I take Ayuk or Christian Watson? I would struggle with the answer because Ayuk came out balling in week 1, and then he got kind of banged up, then he sat out. I think Ayuk is still in for a big season, but I do like Christian Watson about the same. Trade James Cook for Breece Hall. I would take the chance on Breece Hall, even if I was stashing him on the bench for a while. But James Cook is safer for the now, I think. But I still think Breece Hall could win leagues at the cost of entry right now. Mahomes, Debo, Watson, Addison, Dell, Mims, Ayuk, Puka, Kenneth Walker, Ingram. Thoughts on Gibbs and Nakua for Richardson and Hall? I would take, if you need a quarterback, which you don't unless it's super flex, I would take the Richardson in a super flex in a millisecond. But if you don't need this trade, why trade Gibbs? Or wait, do you have? Let me see if you have Puka. So Gibbs and Puka, yeah, you're trading away Gibbs and Puka, right? Let me just put it this way. I'd rather have the Gibbs and Puka side, given that you have Mahomes and it's a 1 QB. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's all. I was a little confused on how you worded it, but you know what I mean. Thank you for the super chat. Looking to make a move at QB. Currently have Jones, Daniel Jones. Got offered Purdy for Christian Kirk. Also Stroud for Moss. I'd probably rather keep, Purdy's not bad. I'd probably say give me Purdy for Kirk and then keep Moss, because I like Stroud a lot, but Purdy and Stroud are probably pretty close fantasy-wise. But I'd rather have Purdy and then be able to keep Moss. And Moss I still shop, though. $10 hauler from Spasm. 12-team PPR. My team is 2-1. Fields, wide receiver Diggs, A.J. Brown, London, Dotson, ETM, Bigsby, Gibbs, Pierce. Very, very good. Thinking of trading A.J. Brown for Love and Ridley, Pacheco. Love that move. Honestly, Ridley and A.J. Brown are very close to me. If anybody's got A.J. Brown and popped off, or Diggs even, to go get Ridley in another piece, like Diggs and Achane for A.J. Brown would be, I'm sorry, Diggs. Trading away a player like A.J. Brown for Ridley and Achane, Waddle and Achane, like those would be good moves considering, you're buying a wide receiver, I think, can still hang with A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown was a buy low last week, and now everybody's able to trade him super high, which is a smart move. Flowers and Madison for Lockett and Garrett Wilson. Smash, I don't know about a smash because we don't know what Flowers. I love Flowers. He's going to be great. Madison, I don't love Madison. Lockett and Garrett Wilson, they're all kind of up in the air, DeBolt. I would say trust your gut on that one. It could go either way. You know, it's not one that I think either side's smashing. It's just like a almost what's the point type of trade. Would you trade Javonte for Tutu? If you needed a wide receiver or running back, I could get behind either side of that trade, broski. Either side of it. Mr. David, appreciate you. 12-man PPR $10 hauler. And I think I missed a $10 hauler earlier in terms of a moonshot, so I'll give you that moonshot. Whoever you were, I'm sorry about that, bro. Thank you for the super chat. 12-man PPR, 1 QB, Love Stroud, ASB. I'm on Ross St. Brown, Christian Watson, Dell Pickens, Gibbs, Swift, Stevenson, Mostert. Your moves, you're 1 and 2. It's a good team. Love, I like that. Christian Watson, Dell. Maybe you trade away Quentin Johnston or Dell with maybe a Stevenson to get that Kamara, that Eckler, that Bijan, that JT, that type of player. I love Achane for this team, and then you could couple Achane with a wide receiver like Devontae Smith and maybe get rid of that Stevenson Dell package, something like that. Mostert on the high would be fantastic. Not to say I don't love keeping him, but you know, if you can turn Mostert and Dell into a JT or Kamara, I'm probably doing that. I love Mostert. I love him, but he's going to get hurt. Hold or make moves. That's probably what I do. Just these guys on screen. I'm telling you, this is the buy low part of the week that helps win, I think, and turn teams around. Trade Mostert and Gabe Davis for Devontae Adams and Travis Etienne. That's cute. If you can get Adams and Etienne for that, unbelievable. Should I pull the trigger? Really? That's actually on the table? I would take the Adams and Travis Etienne side and run.
Got him.
Adams and Etienne side by a freaking mile. And I don't necessarily stop moving at that point because you can flip and keep flipping. Achane is ranked number 39 running back on your rankings on your website. Well, I haven't updated coming out of week number 2. He wasn't in the starting role, so that's where he was ranked walking into the week. But what you got to understand about rankings is you can't rank someone like Achane, and I'm doing the rankings update tonight for the week. You can't rank someone like Achane at running back 20 until he gets there and the content supports it. So it's like Achane's ranked here. Okay, this is where he's valued across the industry, essentially, or he's not a full start or a full go get yet. He's a guy that's on the rise, and then the content supports it. Go get him. He's cheap. This is where he's ranked. So he'll probably be ranked heading into this week around, I would say, like running back, close to top 10 running back overall, just for this week. For the season, top 10 to 15 probably. So Jack, take a look at that once it's updated. Garrett, appreciate you making an offer for Ridley. Have T-Law, Bijan, Monty, Achane, Roshan Algier, Olave, Garrett Wilson, Amari Cooper, Ayuk, Tank Dell, McLaurin. Offer is Lamar, Addison. They lost Mike Williams and would lead with no tight end. What would you lead with? I don't know here. What are you saying here? Contemplating offer is Lamar and Addison for what? Making an offer for really Lamar and Addison. Yeah, I mean, look, you could roll with T-Law and go get Ridley for Lamar and Addison. I'm behind that. I trust T-Law enough. I know a lot of you don't, to make this move, I suppose. I'd rather you keep, I guess, Lamar and trade T-Law and Addison for Ridley. But it's, you know, it is what it is, Garrett, when you got to make a little bit of a move, $10 hauler, and take a little bit of a chance. And I know a lot of people are giving up on Ridley, but is Achane top 10 this week? Probably, bro. Name 9 other running backs. Name 9. And Matt, name 9 other running backs right now that you'd rather have right now. Running backs are in shambles. Like, why is Achane not deserving of a top 10 to 15 running back rank? I mean, answer that. Like, and list off 9 other running backs. I'm not saying you won't come close or have him like 11 and 12. We're all going to have different preferences, but name another RB. He had one of the top 10 fantasy football running back seasons of all time. You know, Achane working at a car wash in a month. I think anybody that's not in on Achane, bro, I honestly believe just didn't have him this week, and it's hurting or something. I don't understand it. Herbert, CD, Keenan Allen, Pollard, Rachaad White, Waller, flex is Flowers, bench Christian Kirk, Damian Pierce, Tank Dell. This is a tough one. I try to trade or no. Herbert, CD, look, your team's very solid. I'm trying to get rid of Rachaad White and like a Christian Kirk for one player. Rachaad White, Christian Kirk for these guys on screen: Devontae Smith, Ridley, Waddle, JT Kamara, Aaron Jones on the cheap. I don't know that you're going to get some of those. Gibbs is even in the cards here for a potential Rachaad White, and let's say, Tank Dell or Kirk and Rachaad White for Gibbs or Hall, works. Who you got? Pollard and Rachaad. I just think Rachaad White is a good sell high right now. Thank you for the super chat. Heating Up Podcast. Swift, Debo, and Brees, Dotson, JSN, Roshan, Algier, Dobbs, Mims, Watson for Tyreek. Swift, Dobbs, and Brees, Dotson. This whole slash thing's weird. Because there's too many variables, bro. Swift, Debo for Tyreek. So Swift, Debo, and one of all of these guys. I mean, of course you're going to keep Brees Hall if you can here. But any one of those other players, sure. Swift, Debo, and any one of those other players, it's a trade you contemplate. But I don't know that you're really hitting. I mean, look, Swift and Debo is pretty damn good, bro. The question would be, Heating, if you get Tyreek Hill using Swift and Debo and one of these other non-Brees Hall players, I would not throw Brees Hall in, are you able to win still? Because Debo and Swift is a lot of talent to give up. I'd almost say that's way too much. Swift and Debo, Swift's a top 10 running back. Debo's a top 12 wide receiver. And I know Hill is worth it on paper to some people, but what does your team look like after that? Didn't answer my who to start running back 2-3. All right, Thomas, hold on. Thomas says, 10 team. Let's kill this music. Music's been going a while. 10 team PPR 0-3 Fields. A 2-2. Who am I starting? Wide receiver. Amon-Ra, Waddle. Those are your two wide receivers, obviously. K9 and probably Gibbs are your running back 2 and 1. And your two flexes are Kyron and probably Watson. If Watson goes. If Watson doesn't go, then Dell. You could go Dell no matter what. Dell's probably the safest play anyway right now until we hear words that are, hey, Christian Watson's phenomenal. He's ready. He's not limited. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for the super chat. $10 hauler from my boy Nick. Nick, appreciate you. Nick says, I'm in a deep 16-team league, 0-3, auto-drafted. That sucks. Traded Kupp and Judy for Flowers and Kenneth Walker. Nice job. I traded Henry for Gibbs. Nice job. And Tank Dell. You did great. I got Kamara and a flex, JT on the bench, Amari Cooper and Zay to start. You did good. You did really good. I don't know that I even, I don't know I have enough information to tell you to move or not move, but I think what you did was phenomenal GMing. That's GMing of the year type potential stuff right there. Advice between Johnston and Palmer. I'm leaning Johnston because they're all in on him. They drafted him, and the word is he's the downfield threat option for them going forward. Do I give up Gibbs plus Evans for JJ and Devontae? Absolutely, you give up that for JJ and Devontae. That's a smash home run trade, bro. Dawson, hey, Smitty, would you trade Achane and Nico for Calvin Ridley? I would. I would take Calvin Ridley in a millisecond. You got to take advantage of that. Dark Knight, appreciate you. Traded Kamara, D-Hop, Love for Eckler. Veto. Dots, I think it's ridiculous that somebody's going to veto that. I mean, look, Hopkins could bounce back. I don't think he will. I'm getting rid of Hopkins. But, Eckler is injured. Kamara's coming back. How do you veto that? That's garbage. That's horse crap. The deal's even arguable on both sides. You tell your commissioner to call me right now. 12-man full PPR. Hurts, Stroud, running back Bijan, Monty, Pierce, Roshan, Gainwell, A.J. Brown, Olave, Watson. Very good team trade advice. Honestly, it's Monty and it's maybe I don't know. Monty and what? What do you even do? Monty for Achane. Go after Achane. Monty for Pierce and Monty for maybe you go after Gibbs. Monty for Gibbs. Monty and Pierce for a little bit better player at RB. I need my music. We got this. We'll go to this music, okay? Laporta is even a decent trade if it gets you a piece, like if somehow Monty and Laporta gets you into a Kamara JT type of player. Past that, there's not a lot of moves. Your team looks pretty solid. You maybe wait a week before you do anything. Sometimes making no trades is the best trade. I'm 1-2 with Tua, Barkley, Javonte, DK, Cooper, Ferguson. Would you trade Barkley for Jacobs and MT? Absolutely not. I'm trading Jacobs away. That's a no-go. No-go. Go after Eckler. Go after Kamara. Go after JT. Don't do that. Go after Bijan. Bijan's a great go-get for you using that. Don't trade for Jacobs. Who should I start? QB, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and tight end. Options at wide receiver, tight end are Purdy, St. Brown, Ridley. So St. Brown and Ridley are your 2 receivers. McCaffrey and Walker are your 2 running backs. Your tight ends, obviously, Laporta. And Kamara's your other Kamara Swift. You got to make a trade. You got to make a trade, young man. That is a tough one. You got to start. Maybe you start Burrow over Purdy, actually. I'd start Burrow over Purdy, assuming there's no setbacks. As far as Swift or Kamara, at this point, you're probably leaning toward. I guess, Kamara this week. We'll have to play that one by ear. We're gonna have to take that one all the way into right before kickoff. Swift and Kamara is a tough one. Should I make a trade to make my team better? I definitely would be considering trading like a Swift and obviously McCaffrey and Walker, your starting running backs. You don't need to move there. Ridley and St. Brown are unbelievable. I'm using Swift to upgrade a quarterback. Your only moves to upgrade a quarterback. Anthony Richardson is a good go-get. You might be able to get like a wide receiver or a running back like Achane and like Anthony Richardson for your DeAndre Swift, and you roll with Kamara, Mario. That's probably the way to go. Your team's unbelievable. Nice work. We got a $20 hauler here from Garrett. Garrett, thank you very much for the $20 hauler. We got Anthony coming in with a blank $20 hauler. I'll see if there's another message somewhere. Please try and include the message with the super chat, guys, because by the time I get to it, I don't even have your other messages like nearby at all. So I have to go hunting for them. So please include that. $25 hauler from SKS. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for your super chats, guys. Your $20 haulers are amazing, magnificent. And here goes a $20 hauler for Garrett, Anthony, and SKS.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Okay, other team is offering Lamar and Addison. I'm asking what can I offer my team to compete? Lamar and Addison. Garrett, I don't know what this is. $20 hauler. Did you ask another question somewhere? Again, try and include it in the super chat, guys, because I really I appreciate you. Please understand how much I appreciate you. But I have to go back and try and find it. It slows it down pretty big time. Let's see here. Garrett, making offer for Ridley, have T-Law. Okay, other team is offering Lamar and Addison. I'm asking what can I offer for my team to compete? Lamar and Addison. Other team is offering Lamar and Addison. Lamar and Addison, T-Law, if they need a quarterback back. Lamar and Addison, maybe Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson for Lamar and Addison straight up would be fantastic. Ayuk for Lamar and Addison. T-Law and Ayuk for Lamar and Addison. Tank Dell is honestly a great player, but would I give him up for Lamar and Addison? Absolutely. Tank Dell and, you got Amari Cooper and Olave. You could afford to give up like Tank Dell and McLaurin, or Tank Dell, McLaurin, and T-Law, or even potentially a Monty if you wanted to. Monty for Lamar and Addison, and you even give up something else. Look, Lamar would be a great trade for you. The best way to do this is to give up T-Law and kind of dilute what you give back a little bit and say, I'll give you T-Law, we swap quarterbacks, and I give you Tank Dell. That's probably the best way to do this. McLaurin, Garrett Wilson for that quarterback upgrade is not a bad idea, to be honest with you. Garrett, appreciate your super chat. You are the man, the myth, the legend. Garrett, my people, his name is Garrett, and he's a monster. Garrett, appreciate you. Please, guys, include everything into your super chat. It makes it really hard to go back and slows down everything. We're so behind on supers. Thank you, Anthony. Anthony didn't include anything with his, but he comes in with another strong super chat. Look at Anthony. What a monster, dropping $40 right now. Anthony, you monster.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Anthony coming in strong. I have Hill, Allen, and Ridley at wide receiver. My bench receivers are Tank Dell, Flowers, Kirk. My running backs are Swift and ETN. No depth at RB other than Hunt. Should I trade Ridley for Kamara? I don't mind this trade at all. I don't mind it at all. I would love for you to get a little more, but it is what it is. But JT or Kamara for Ridley would be fantastic. Smitty approved that trade. Ryan says, lost my job today due to layoffs, fun stuff. I'm sorry, Ryan. Everybody put prayer emojis up for Ryan, who lost his job today. Ryan, you're going to get a better job because of it, man. Keep your head up. Keep on your toes. This is like I say, when you get a speeding ticket and you lose $300 because your speeding ticket costs $3.99 or whatever, and you say, why me? Why me? Well, maybe that speeding ticket avoided you getting hit by a red light runner at the next stoplight before you got pulled over. So blessing in disguise. Ryan, keep your head on a swivel and look for something that you normally wouldn't have looked for because of this. You know what I'm saying? You stumble in something because of this that you wouldn't have ever had your eyes open for. So it'll be better at the end of the day. Just keep your head up and think like that, okay? Positive. $20 hauler. Thanks again for this super chat, bro. Tank, let's see, Kirk and I wonder if you could trade like Kirk and Swift for you could go after JT Kamara. You could go after players like that. But Ridley, would I rather you keep Ridley? Yeah. Would I rather you keep Ridley and trade like Kirk and maybe Kirk and Swift for Kamara? It's a lot. But do I like Kamara a little more than Swift? I do. Just because there is some concern with injuries or something happening in Philly. I still love Swift. Swift to the moon. He's a moon man. Cost of entry, Swift was amazing. And he's worth every penny. But Kamara is still, if I'm drafting today, a little bit heavier, higher value. So that's probably where I would land there. But would I take Ridley and turn him into Kamara if you need an RB? Absolutely. $25 hauler for SKS. Got A-Chain 2 weeks ago. And for $1. That's awesome. Traded B-Rob, DJ Moore for Waddle. That's fantastic last week. Thanks for the text advice. Thank you, SKS. Hill, Waddle, Achan. Too many fish. Which two to trade? 12-team Lamar, Henry. Trade Henry away. Kyron, Sanders. Sanders and Henry, I'm trading away. You need better RBs. Ridley, Sutton, Ingram, Achan, Ingram for Kelsey. Absolutely do that move if you can pull it off. I don't think you'll pull it off, but if you pull off Achan and Ingram for Kelsey, that's a home run. Other moves would be Henry for JT and something. Look at the Christian Watson owner and see what running back they have. Do they have a Kamara, a Bijan? Trading for Bijan using Henry. Henry and a player like I don't know, Henry and Sanders for just Bijan. Sutton and Henry for Bijan. All those things. Henry, Sanders, and Sutton for Bijan. All those for JT or Kamara. Thank you, SKS. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you so much. Thank you all for those $20 haulers. And we had the one more $20 hauler from Robert Mitchell. Mitchell's been doing this for a while now. This guy's a monster.
Alert. Super chat alert.
This is not Mitchell's first rodeo with the $20 super chat. Smitty, I tried to trade Deshaun Watson. My league is not high on him. Should I drop him off for CJ Stroud? I probably wouldn't. You need both of them. You're starting Love. Okay. I like Stroud, but I'd rather have Deshaun Watson as the backup, I think. Right now, he's capable of scoring. Does anybody disagree, or are we taking Stroud over Deshaun Watson at this point? I'm okay with whatever the chat decides on this. I'm a little indifferent on this one. This one's tough. Should I try? Let's see here. Should I drop him off? I'm starting Love. I picked up Tank. Could possibly stack with CJ. The stack doesn't matter too much. XDS, I haven't missed your super chat. We're super behind on them. I'm trying my best, guys. You guys are phenomenal, but I'm so backlogged on the super chats. If you haven't heard your response yet, it's because we're still going. The show is going to be very, very long tonight. We're 2 hours and 24 minutes into it. I'm trying my best. We got a bunch of Stroud votes. Yeah, Stroud votes. Stroud votes. I guess Stroud wins. So, all right. Hit me with your next one. Appreciate you. Hang tight, guys. Robert, appreciate you. Stroud it is. The chat has spoken. Stroud it is. Austin says super chat 30 minutes ago. You're not the only one, bro. I'm sorry. I'm doing the best I can, pal. I'm piling through these. XDS with a $20. There it is, XDS. I see it right now. Appreciate you dropping the $20 hauler. XDS, you are the man, the myth, the legend. XDS, $20 hauler.
Alert. Super chat alert.
XDS, his Hurts, Kyren for my Pollard. 1 and 2, I have Fields, Gibbs. I'm looking at your quarterbacks here. Do you have Love somewhere? Do you have somebody else? Because you can't rely on Fields right now at all. I would say like Kyren and Hurts are better than Pollard. I'm going to say no to that. As far as other trades, I don't think I'm making this move. I think the only thing, you got JT, you got Brees, you got Gibbs, you got for your Pollard. Okay, you're getting Hurts and Kyren. I would take Hurts and Kyren for Pollard. I would take that move. Smitty approved that. It's hard to do, but look, Kyren's good enough right now. Hurts is out of this world, so Hurts is going to be a baller.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Do it live. Thank you, XDS. Appreciate you. Back to the top of the super chats in order in which they're received. $10 hauler. Need running back. Traded Keenan Allen and Madison for Tony Pollard. That's a smash. And Jordan. You got Jordan Addison as well. How? I have Devontae Adams Cup. Nice move. 0-3. Look, your team's turning around as we speak. Kamara coming back. Kelsey, Zach Moss playing well. Maybe Zach Moss and Nico for one of these monsters on the screen. Probably what I'm trying to do. Cup's coming back. Your team's going to be firing on all cylinders. 0-3. Yeah, this is going to be a comeback team. I leave it the way it is unless I'm poking around at one of these players using Nico and Moss. Just taking a stab at Gibbs type players. Even Brees for Nico and Moss would be interesting for your team. Or you just roll with Moss right now. Devontae Smith, Ridley, Waddle, all those guys. I doubt you get any of those, but just take stabs. You never know. You've made an amazing trade already, right? So you've got a solid squad. Thank you, Leroy. Appreciate you very much for your super chat. This one's from Kaola. 10-man PPR 1 and 2 QBs. Hurts, running back Aaron Jones, Madison, wide receiver Chase, Sun God, tight end Hawkinson, flex Dell, Godwin, Pacheco. Not much to trade here other than Ford. Do I trade Jones for JT? Do I trade Aaron Jones for JT and B-Rob? I guess I would. Aaron Jones for JT and B-Rob. I would take that gamble, I think. Then I would try and flip B-Rob and like a Ford for one of these monsters on the screen and just go one after the other. B-Rob for even Watson straight up. Christian Watson to get a wide receiver in there. Smitty, approve what you got going on there, pal. You're on your way. Start 3, bench 1. Kamara, HN Swift. Kamara, HN Swift, you put Gibbs on the bench, unfortunately, but maybe you make a trade. Efren, is Akers a hold for you, or would you move him for someone like Charbonnet or Warren? I would rather have Sharbs than Warren and then Akers in that order, to be honest with you. 12-team, 1 and 2 record. Burrow, Stafford, Chase, Lamb, Lockett, Christian Watson, Stevenson, Kyren, Hall, Rashad White, Herbert, Hurst trade. I'm hanging on to Hall because you're not going to get what you want. Rashad White, Kyren are tradable. Dobbs, I don't know. Probably Lockett and Rashad White for one monster on screen, Wes. And just take stabs. Devontae Smith, take a stab. Ridley, take a stab. You gotta try and attempt Cooper Kupp. The owner might be really willing to get rid of Cooper Kupp, but that's the move I make. Stevenson maybe to upgrade into a little bit better player. Stevenson for Ridley straight up. Things like that. Across position trades obviously work really well. DJ or Lockett, I'd probably say pretty even. I still believe DJ Moore can be really good, but I think we got to go with Lockett right now until we see some sort of life for that Chicago Bear offense. Would you guys trade Devontae Smith and Puka for Adams? I would rather have Devontae Smith than Puka. Adams is playing great, bro, but Jimmy G's in concussion protocol. Obviously, they're in shambles there in Las Vegas, but still feeding Devontae Adams. But Devontae Smith and Puka is a lot. I could go either way. If you have the depth, go Adams. If you need the depth, go Devontae Smith, Puka. But definitely feel like if you have depth, that Adams upgrade. The 2-for-1s are always great if you have depth. Looking to trade for Eckler, I have T-Law, Bijan, Kamara, Javonte, St. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Dell. Look, you probably could trade Garrett Wilson and Javonte, Dell and Javonte. I'm not touching any of those other players like Bijan or Kamara. I'm just not doing that. I like those better. Garrett Wilson and Javonte could work. Garrett Wilson and London. Garrett Wilson, Dell, and Javonte for for Eckler would even be good. Past that, I don't know that you can make any moves, and I don't know that I want you to get rid of those other players for him. But I do like Eckler as a buy low, but you got to be able to fit it in. Pick up 2 Palmer. I have Quentin Johnston, Elijah Moore, Chiefs D, Reek Ferguson. If you need a tight end, I go Ferguson. But if you just want to have both of the Charger wide receivers so you can decide later who to cut, that's not a bad opportunity. Please advise 12-team 3-0. You're 3-0 for a reason, so don't necessarily fix what isn't broken, bro, just off the bat. But Lamar's a good quarterback for you to have here. Hill, Tyreek Hill, St. Brown, looking good. Rashad White, Monty are tradable pieces. Akers, tradable piece. Hawkinson, tradable piece. You got Laporta. Who should I put on the trading block? I'm trading probably because Laporta's playing so good. I'm trading Hawkinson or Laporta. I bet you get a little more for Hawkinson, but trade whichever one. Hawkinson and Monty, Laporta and Monty. Go get Kamara, Ridley, Devontae Smith. Go get a potential Lamar to Hurts upgrade. Go get JT. Those are all moves that I would do with those bench pieces, bro. You got this one. Your team's phenomenal. You got a lot of pieces. Just keep throwing offers out there, combos using those players that I just mentioned. Start 2, Puka, DK, Devontae Smith. You got to go Puka and Devontae Smith, I think. Those are probably the safest 2, but you should make a trade and trade one of those away. Would you trade Tank Dell for Achane? And yeah, I'd do it straight up for Achane. I would take Achane. I think it's a league-winning move. On the waiver wire for number 4 waiver wire, your boy has Achane as the number 1 pickup, even over Dell, but Dell and him are both amazing. And if depending on what you need, obviously you pick up one over the other, I suppose. But I still think I'd in a bind, even if I was in a bind at wide receiver more than running back, I would take Achane because I can trade him for more. 14-team PPR QB Love, Swift, Gibbs, Olave, London, Kelsey, flexes Dell, Quentin Johnston, Musgrave. Any trades? Probably say that you've got with Love and Swift and Gibbs and Olave and Kelsey, you're pretty set. Like, in order to make a move and you don't have anybody you can really trade, you'd have to get rid of one of these other pieces and divide and conquer. Meaning you'd have to get rid of like Kelsey for 2 players. And I don't know that I want to do that. I think in a 14-teamer, you're set up pretty nicely. I would let this ride out a little bit before you start dividing and conquering. And that's the only way that team's going to make a trade. There's nothing on the bench to trade yet. Hey, Smitty, 1 and 2, I need your help. Love, Burrow, Lawrence. So you're good at quarterback. I would trade one of those guys if possible. Achane and Bijan are fantastic. Ridley, Pickens, Dell, very, very good. Ridley or Gibbs. Ridley for Gibbs. I'd rather have Ridley. Keep Achane. Yeah, this is also a no. Don't make moves yet. Let that play out. You're trying to move things around before the values have settled, or you're trying to sell low and you're buying high. Just wait a week. Let Achane go out there and do something. Drop Henry or Kincaid for Laporta. I would not drop Kincaid because I think later he'll be valuable, but Laporta should not be on waivers. Absolutely should not be on waivers. Okay, so Waddle, Ford for Bijan, who wins? Waddle and Ford for Bijan, who wins? I would probably say give me the Bijan side. Give me the Bijan side. Definitely like that trade. Nick, 12-team half PPR running back room in shambles. Just traded Garrett Wilson for Ramondre. I think that's a good trade. I would do that. Ramondre is somebody I still shop because I'm worried about him, but he's got less problems than freaking Garrett Wilson. So definitely make that trade. A $10 hauler.
Motion detected at the front door.
Ziggy, show me the front door. 10-man PPR, Richardson, Burrow, Stafford, Walker, Etienne, Gibbs, Algier, Jonathan Taylor, Jamar Chase, A.J. Brown, Cooper Kupp, Lockett, Judy, T.J. Hawkinson, Cowboys defense. Come on, show me the front door, Ziggy. Do your job. Ziggy, show me the front door.
Okay.
Do your job. Ziggy off. I don't know if Miss Mitty had food delivered or not. Burrow, you trade Burrow away if you possibly can. ETN, Gibbs, Algier, Jonathan Taylor, you're set. This team's really good. The Cooper Kupp, TJ Hawkinson. Like, if you can trade Lockett and Gibbs to get a slightly better RB, Lockett and Gibbs for JT, Lockett and Gibbs, or you got JT, Lockett and Gibbs for Kamara, like something like that. Lockett and Gibbs for a Ridley type player. Like, past that, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Upgrade a QB? Maybe Lockett and Lockett and Richardson for Hurts. Like, Hurts would be a great go-get for that team. Your team is set up nicely, and I like the depth. I don't know that I force anything off that roster right now. Would you trade Kamara, Ridley for Diggs? I'd rather have Kamara and Ridley over Diggs, bro. I'd rather have that side by quite a bit. Chris Wise with a $10 hauler. Chris, appreciate you. My broski coming in strong. Guys, I'm getting to the super chats as fast as I can. I have Lawrence Stevenson. Some of these questions are super long, and everybody's got a full team evaluation, so I'm going through it the best I can. 12-team PPR 0-3. I have Lawrence Stevenson, Pacheco, Justin Jefferson, Diggs, Lamb. Amazing wide receivers and quarterback and tight end. Obviously, your quarterback is shaky right now. Stevenson, Pacheco, shaky. So you're very bottom heavy with the JJ, Diggs, and Lamb and Laporta. Achane is awesome. Put him in your starting lineup with the Stevenson. Traded Mark Andrews and Addison for JJ after week 1. Yeah, that's a great move. Ride it out. I don't necessarily ride it out. I try and use Stevenson. I use Achane in your lineup. I try and move Stevenson and maybe a player like you could divide and conquer Diggs into like a Ridley and get a running back upgrade. You know, maybe like maybe the Pollard owner would give you a Ridley for Diggs to go down from Stevenson or from Pollard to Stevenson. Past that, it's like Stevenson, Pacheco, Stevenson, and I don't know, Stevenson and Pacheco and Stevenson is something. I don't know what else you have on your bench to maybe upgrade Stevenson into a Bijan somehow. You know, I don't know what else you have, but Bijan's very, very undervalued right now. JT is very, very attractive to go get. Kamara is very attractive to go get. I'd take either one of them for Stevenson, and if I throw in Pacheco, throw in another player, I'd even be tempted to use Laporta and Stevenson to go get a monster running back, and there's not a lot of them out there. I don't even know if you would consider Pollard a big enough upgrade for that, but I probably would. I think Laporta's definitely not somebody I want to get rid of, but he's somebody that I would use if I needed to upgrade RB. PPR, Hurts, Gibbs, Walker, JJ, Amon-Ra, Hawkinson, Ayuk, benches, Judy, B-Rob. Look, you don't want to even move anything. You got a very, very good team. The only thing I'd even consider doing is maybe trying to trade like Ayuk and B-Rob for a slightly better wide receiver like Ridley or Olave or Diggs or something like that. Past that, what moves on earth could you make? Watson, any moves? Watson, Christian Watson, or what do you have? Christian Watson? Yeah. I sit on Christian Watson. You can't even trade him yet. That's a great team. Your team doesn't need to, other than that trade suggestion I just made, your team needs to sit and wait and marinate, especially Christian Watson. Lose Bijan for JJ. Absolutely take JJ. I have Swift, AK, Ramondre. It doesn't matter what you have. You take JJ over Bijan in a millisecond right now. That's just the facts right now and the value. The market value. Not saying Bijan doesn't become the number 1 overall fantasy football player still. He still could. Anthony Richardson, Chubb, Robinson Jr., Diggs, Mike Williams is out for the year. Hawkinson, Devonta Smith, Cooper. You got a lot of good players here. Lockett, you're 3-0 for a reason. You don't need to make a trade. Anthony Richardson's fantastic. I'm sorry you lost Chubb. Brian Robinson, I would like to upgrade him into a Kamara, a JT, even a potential Bijan if you're able to do so. I don't know what you could give other than Hawkinson, probably Amari Cooper and maybe Brian Robinson and go get a Eckler, JT, or Kamara potentially. Your team is 3-0, but you did get hit by injury pretty hardcore. Should I trade Diggs for Pollard? I would do that one as well, I suppose. Try and get like some kind of receiver thrown into that, but I would definitely do that one as well. Austin, appreciate your $10 hauler. Austin to the moon, appreciate you, Austin. Austin, my boy, got 800 people in here, and we got only 316 thumbs up. Punch that thumb up button. 3-0, 12-team PPR. Lamar Jackson, JT Kamara, Breece Hall, James Cook, Achane. Wide receivers are Hill, MT, Pickens, Dell, Hawkinson. Hawkinson's again a player I like to move if I need to, but you've been sitting on JT Kamara and you're 3-0. You know what I mean? Like, you don't necessarily need to do much. Maybe Pickens or Dell with James Cook for a better Ridley or Waddle or something. That's it, Austin. That's your move. I even keep Hawkinson. You don't even need to trade Hawkinson. Dell and you got Achane coming in strong. Dell and Achane, Dell and Pickens, Dell and James Cook, Achane and Cook. You could figure out a way to get a Ridley or a Waddle pretty easily, I think, with that squad. Evan with a super chat. What's up, Smitty? I'm 0-3. What moves can I make? Mahomes, Gibbs, Achane, lost J.K. Dobbins. Cooper Kupp's coming back. You'll be fine. Christian Watson's going to bounce back. Lockett, Sky Moore, Andrews. I probably trade Andrews, I suppose, if I could get into a different, tight end opportunity, but get an upgrade somewhere massively, like a Lockett and Andrews to get a Ridley, potential Olave, a St. Brown. Probably Evan is where I would take that team. Travis Rowe with a $5 hauler, 0-3, 0.5 PPR, T-Law, Love, Amon Ra, DK. Thank you, Travis. K9, ETN, Laporta, Achane, Pickens, benches, Javonte, Ford, Charbonnet, Dotson, JSN, Hollywood Brown, Kincaid suggestions, Achane for Devontae. For Devontae Adams, I don't think you'll get that, but of course I would take that. I'd take Devontae Smith or Devontae Adams for Achane in that situation. But that's, can you sell high? I don't know. We'll have to see what Achane's market value is. It seems like it's not as good as I would have thought it would coming off that game. A lot of people saying he's going to wither away. Again, I think most people that are down on Achane are going to say that because they didn't have him. Achane, you say it however you want. I'll say it both ways if I want. Dollar hauler from Maurice. Maurice didn't drop a question with it. Maurice, I'll have to look later. Please include, I think with the dollars you can't include anything. They're just a free $1 hauler, just support type of move. They don't give you a message with it. Just traded Connor, Kamara, and T. Higgins for CeeDee Lamb, Mark Andrews, and Miles Sanders. What do you think, Smitty? Just traded Connor, Kamara, and T. Higgins for CeeDee Lamb and Mark Andrews. I think this could go both ways. I don't think either one of you completely smashed it. I think there's pros and cons to both sides. I like Kamara as the best RB or the best, I guess maybe the best player. Lamb's the best player in the deal. Kamara's pretty close. Connor's playing out of his mind. Andrews is a big, solid. This is an even Steven trade, son. Maurice, I'll try and find your another question you might have had attached to it later. $10 hauler from Abreu. Appreciate you with a $10 hauler, my guy. Abreu to the moon. Let's see, 10-team, full PPR, 2-1. Any moves to improve? Love, Fields, Gibbs, Kamara, Kelsey, St. Brown, Debo. It's a phenomenal team. Watson, Addison. I mean, other than you start Love first of all. Watson or Addison and Gibbs for a potential JT, an Eckler. Maybe you can give up Gibbs and I don't know. Let's see here, Gibbs and Fields. If let's say they're hurting at quarterback, you could throw in Fields, like Gibbs, Fields, and Addison to try and get an Eckler, or even go across position and say, look, I'm going to start. Who's your other RB? Who could you throw in an RB? You kind of need an RB if you get rid of Gibbs, right? I don't necessarily trade Gibbs. Maybe you upgrade Love into Hurts using Addison, Watson, guys like that. And if you can't, you just stand pat with this team. Pacheco and Addison for one player. I don't know what you could even get. Addison for Achane if you want to get an RB. If you need a wide receiver, Christian Watson you have, right? So you're set. This team's probably a hold and wait. Let these guys gain value. It's a really good squad. Try and buy low where you can on Hall and potentially like Devontae Smith, Ridley, Waddle, but you don't necessarily need to make a move. Your team's really, really set up nicely. A lot of depth. 0-3 QB, Allen, Stevenson, Hall, Taylor. You're set with Taylor and maybe your only move here, you got Diggs, you got Addison, you got Flowers, Hopkins. I'd trade Hopkins and probably Ford, Hopkins, and Stevenson. Ford, Stevenson, and Hopkins. Like, I'm just moving those pieces for a JT, a Kamara. I would definitely love to see you get into a Bijan Robinson using Stevenson and Addison, or Hopkins and Stevenson for Bijan. Smooth Criminal, I think Bijan would be attainable for that. $10 hauler, 14-team PPR. Appreciate you all dropping these super chats. You guys absolutely rock. Someone said that I missed super chats. If my mods could remind people that I'm going as fast as I can on these super chats. 14-team redraft so far. I'm 1-2. QBs are Love, Howell. Running backs are Gibbs, Walker, Charbonnet, Brees, Achane. Wide receivers are A.J. Brown. If the rest of you could remind people as well, like Ron, for example, says that I missed his super chat. Ron, I haven't missed your super chat. I'm just trying to go through them as fast as I can. If my chat could remind people that are saying, hey, where's my super chat? I'm getting to them, okay? I got Young asking, Ron. I don't blame you for asking, but I'm trying my best. I'm going through them as fast as I can. 14-team PPR redraft team so far. I'm 1-2. Love, Howell, Gibbs, Walker, Charbonnet, Brees, Achane, A.J. Brown, Puka, Ayuk. Your team's really good. The only thing you could possibly do, Kelsey, any trades you're comfortable with, you got Kelsey as well. That's unbelievable. The only thing I'm looking to do if I'm you, Puka or Ayuk with Brees Hall, Gibbs with Ayuk, Gibbs with Puka to try and get that JT Kamara action, the Pollard, the Bijan. That's the only thing you need to do. Or you give up some of that depth with Love to go get a Jalen Hurts, who I think is a really good buy low. Even though he played well, people are still scared of that offense and thinking he's not going to be the same this year. Who can I target for Hunter Henry? You have Laporta. Probably go after Achane. Give up a little bit more. Go after Christian Watson. Those are fantastic buy lows right now, Scotty. Fantastic. Both of them. And Tank Dell even. Fields, CMC, James Cook, Rashad White, Damian Pierce, Gainwell, JT, Olave, Puka Nacua, Garrett Wilson, Dell, Laporta 3-0. You're 3-0 for a reason. You are potentially needing one piece, I think, but JT hasn't come back yet, so that's probably why you feel that way. CMC, you need a quarterback upgrade unless you have Love somewhere. I don't see Love anywhere. So, Fields, and you're trying to upgrade Fields and Puka for a potential AR5 and something. AR5 is probably the best buy low QB. If I'm you, I'm using Rashad White. I'm using Damian Pierce. I'm using potentially Sutton or Dell. Try and keep Puka to try and go get a quarterback. Quarterback's the only thing that you're really struggling with, and that's on me, bro. Should I trade? Here's Ron's. Should I trade Keenan Allen and Kamara for Tyreek Hill? I would probably say this depends on if you've got the depth to do it. If you look at your team with Tyreek Hill in it and you can still win it all, you're not depleting yourself and making yourself so thin that you can't win, I would say punch it, take Tyreek Hill, take the best player in the deal. Jason, appreciate your super chat. Jason's the man. $10 hauler, 12-team PPR. Lamar, Mostert. I'm trading Mostert if I can. Puka, Mostert for one big running back. You see these guys on screen. Bijan Robinson's attainable. Your benchers, Gainwell, Rashad White. Smaller trade would be Puka and Rashad White for a JT, a Kamara. I'm sorry if you even have one of these guys. Those are guys I'm looking for. Bijan. You still can reach for Bijan. You can still try and trade like Christian Kirk, Rashad White, and Puka for Bijan. Mostert and Kirk and Rashad White for Bijan. For JT, for Kamara. All easily doable moves. Alec, appreciate you. I'm being offered Bijan plus Algier plus Addison for Gabe Davis. Or Gabe Davis. Take Addison over Gabe Davis. For Jacobs, Waddle, and Brees Hall. I would take that Bijan side, honestly. It's arguable because Jacobs could rebound, or Waddle's obviously really good and Brees Hall's really good, but I take the Bijan Addison side personally. That's just me. It's a tough one though. I mean, honestly, I don't know. What does the chat think? Do you think it's better to trade? Maybe it's better to trade Jacobs for another piece and you hold on to Waddle and Brees Hall. I love Bijan and Addison though. That's not bad. Does the chat agree? Are we going Bijan Addison? Let's see what everybody thinks on this one. Please drop your vote in the chat for Alec. Alec, take a look at the chat. Let's see what the chat thinks. Maybe it's not the best trade in the world because of what Brees Hall could potentially do later, but it's Bijan. And I still think Bijan's the top 3 or 4 running back overall right now. Easily top 5. Giancarlo, Amari Cooper or Brees Hall, half PPR. Amari Cooper right now. I wish I could say that the Brees Hall was doing what we want right now. He still could. I think everybody needs to relax on giving up on him. But, I mean, Amari Cooper is balling out, and you got to take advantage of that. Would I trade Amari Cooper high? Probably. Bijan side. Bijan Addison side. There you go. A couple Jacobs side, but not a ton. Thank you for this $10 hauler, Marcel. I'm 0-3. I have QB Herbert, wide receiver JJ, Addison, DJ Moore, London, Dotson, running backs Gibbs, Moss, Warren, Herbert, McKinnon, and Kelly, tight end Mark Andrews. Should I trade away JJ and Gibbs to help my team? I probably would say if you trade away Gibbs, I'm going after JT, Kamara, Eckler, Waddle, Ridley, and if I've got to give a little bit more to get those deals done, I would. Or I go after A-Chain and another wide receiver using that if you can. If I'm trading JJ, you got to literally anchor onto a player like JT, Kamara, or Eckler and get another additional player that's absolutely fantastic. You can't trade away JJ and not get JT and at least a Devontae Smith, or you're selling JJ way too low. And some would say they would never even do that. Gibbs, it's hard to trade Gibbs right now on the high. You almost have to ride that out with Gibbs. Am I opposed to trading JJ? Not if you feel like you can't win looking at all other teams, but you have to get two monsters. You have to. Got offered Hawkinson, Pollard for Kelsey. Rock out. I got like 10 seconds, bro. I'm so backlogged. I'm going to be here all night so hit me with it real quick. Rock out. You call back. You didn't even answer. Got offered Hawkinson, Pollard for Kelsey. I would take Hawkinson and Pollard for Kelsey. I would definitely take Hawkinson and Pollard for Kelsey. If you need two players. Rock out. I got like 15 seconds, bro. I'm so backlogged. Hit me. Go.
Yeah, would you trade Bijan for Kamara and Devontae Smith?
Absolutely. Kamara and Devontae Smith for Bijan in a millisecond. It sucks to say that, but it is what it is right now. You know, you got to adjust and adapt. Appreciate you, Rock out. Thanks for calling in. Mars, man, rock out. Later, pal. Okay, Dan H. with a $5 hauler, PPR, Mostert, Kamara, ETN, Kyron, Keenan Allen. Marsmen can call in anytime they want. I just have to rush them off if we're in this mode. But Marsmen always have an open line. That was the whole point of those Marsman cards. You break in anytime you want. Rock out, you can call in anytime you want. It have to be short in these situations, but that's what the Marsman card is about. Rock out used his Marsman card effectively. PPR, Mostert, Kamara, ETN. These are good RBs. You got Keenan Allen going off. Wilson and Kyron are good trades. Mostert and Kyron are good trades. Mostert and Garrett Wilson and Mostert for these big monsters on screen. Eckler is a very big target for me if I'm you. You've got Evans going off. Higgins and Mostert potentially for Eckler and Bijan. Bijan and Eckler are my targets. Trade Mostert and Wilson for a wide receiver one. I would probably do that as well, but it'd have to be like a Diggs type of player. Ridley might not even be enough, maybe. I think I would want to target Ridley, but I think you need to get something back in that situation. But absolutely would I do that. This is here. Would you rather have Gibbs, Taylor, or A-Chain? I'd rather have Gibbs and, let's see here. Would you rather have Gibbs, Taylor, or I'd rather have Taylor. Taylor's a smash. Then probably A-Chain right now. Then Gibbs. For right now, but Gibbs I think eventually can get into the mix there, but JT's the guy to have. Drop Fields for Stroud. I have Love already. The chat already voted on this when we had a question earlier, and Stroud won. So Stroud's the people's vote and choice on that. Which one do I bench between Jacobs, Bijan, Swift, and Achane? Probably Jacobs right now. But I think you trade him away before you bench him, because if he goes off, you're going to be pissed. But right now, you could go get a Ridley using Jacobs, maybe throw in just a little bit. Aloha Smitty trade Jalen Hurts for Bijan. I have Love. I probably would do that move. I would love to trade Love and something and keep Hurts in the lineup if at all possible, or trade Hurts plus a player for Gibbs. No, I would do the other trade, but I definitely would try my best to trade Love and something. But if you've got to trade Hurts, you got to trade Hurts. I get it. It is what it is. Good trade, good idea. Dell, London, Cousins for Watson. I'd probably rather have. Yes, I did reply to the other. I can try and get it later, bro. Again and reply again. But Dell, London, Cousins. I don't know. This is really tough. I mean, Christian Watson's done nothing yet, but I still like him the best player in this deal. It also depends on your quarterback situation. At the end of the day, it's not a crazy overpay. I don't mind it. Smitty, he's now offered Ford, Brees, and DJ for Henry. Ford, Brees, and DJ Moore for Henry. I said I'd do A-Chain, but he gets him off waivers and done. I said do A-Chain when he gets him off waivers and done. would you still do the deal? If you're getting A-Chain, but I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't necessarily do this, but I just feel like Derrick Henry still could maybe get you more. Breece Hall's not playing well. So I'd say no. I'd say if you're getting A-Chain, maybe. But I think Derrick Henry, even though Derrick Henry's not playing well, I think he still commands more. Breece Hall's not playing well. You know, you're buying him as if he's playing well. Long term, do you prefer Breece Hall or Achane? Right now, Achane. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, he's balling out. Like, I love Breece Hall. I'm still going to acquire him on the cheap. But if we're drafting today, we're not drafting Breece Hall really high. Not right now. It sucks. It is what it is. Full PPR, Garrett Wilson. Thank you for your super chat. Full PPR, Garrett Wilson, McLaurin, Roschon, or Kelly. I'm going to go probably Garrett Wilson here. I still think Garrett Wilson's got a lot of value. More so than people give him credit. He almost scored again. Would have 3 straight games with a touchdown. $10 hauler from Swavey. Appreciate Swavey dropping a super chat like a monster. 1 and 2 first waivers. Getting Achane, absolutely great. 10-man QB T-Law, Love, Chase, AJ Brown, Olave, Pickens, Pollard, Kamara, Brees. This team doesn't need anything. Trade ideas, I mean, like everybody, couple Ford and freaking Pickens or whatever together to try and get another doubted player. But your team's so deep that I'm just sitting on this squad. This team's phenomenal. You're 1 and 2. You shouldn't be, but you're getting all your players back on the table here soon. JT, Kamara. Look, your team, looking at the squad, your team's only going to go up in value. I just sit on it like it's an investment, and I just wait. Okay, just wait for it. You're going to be able to use it. $10 hauler, trade Henry. Thank you for the super chat. Trade Henry and for Barkley. I would rather have Barkley and Tutu personally, but I'm still shopping Barkley because I'm not super high. But that's a good trade, Young. That's a really good trade. Appreciate your $10 hauler. Michael Vaughn with a super chat. Grade my team. T-Law, K9, Moss, AJ Brown, Lamb, Ridley, Flowers, Kelsey. Very good. JT, very solid. Am I trying to move Akers? Sure. Do I keep Charbonnet? Should I make any moves? I would say, like, you know, Moss and Akers. Am I trying to get rid of those guys? Can I trade Moss and T-Law to upgrade into an AR5? I'm going after Anthony Richardson. Past that, unless I'm taking A.J. Brown and turning him into Achane and Devontae Smith, taking A.J. Brown, selling him high, turn him into a Ridley and Achane for A.J. Brown, a Lamb for Ridley and Achane, Waddle and Achane for one of those wide receivers. Like those kind of moves I'm tempted to do, but that's it. Like that team's wait and see. How much fab should you drop on Josh Palmer? There's no amount of money I can tell you. You got to go off the historical droppage in your league. I could have no idea. Some leagues, people drop $100 out of 100 to get a guy. I would say he doesn't feel like a huge low drop, bro, at all, because I like Quentin Johnson better. He's a good ad, maybe like a 10%er. I don't know, but I don't know. Like, you got to know what the historical numbers are in your league. If people usually drop like 10 out of $100 or 10% on a player like that, then you got to follow the lead on that. I can't possibly know that. I would say my confidence scale of him being the number 1 pickup of the year is not high. So I'm not dropping a big amount. Made the move. My lineup is now QB Love, running backs ETN Swift, wide receiver Allen, Dell, Flowers, Kirk, Dobbs, third spot, Flex Kamara. Let's go. Appreciate you. 4-0. That's a nice job. Made moves in my lineup now. QB Love. Man, this is a good squad. You got a good team. You got a really good team. Flowers, Kirk, or Dobbs. You got potential trade pieces later, but you wait on it. You know what I'm saying? Or you trade Henry and like Kirk for a little bit of an upgrade. Maybe you can get a Laporta or something like that. Like, that's an awesome job. Your team's looking good. Heating Up Podcast. League winner T-Law, Bijan, Breece Hall, Reek T. League winner T-Law, Bijan, Breece. It could be. I mean, I don't know. Heating, we got to see how quickly Bijan gets back to where we want him to be. We got to see if T-Law bounces back. Breece Hall is waiting. Tyreek's awesome. T. Higgins, he's been slumping. So league winner, it could be. But, you know, I would say a lot of things got to go right, you know, and hopefully they do. They could. 14 team, Josh Allen, AJ Brown, Metcalf, Walker, Saquon, Waddle, benches, Love, Charbonnet. Go to the QB needy team. In a 14 teamer, I guarantee you there's a QB needy team. Love and freaking Saquon for an upgrade at running back. Love and freaking maybe Metcalf for a huge wide receiver upgrade. Those are moves I'm making with that team. 12-month membership. Can we get a Garrett Wilson toughest sell? What can we get for Garrett Wilson? Try Achane. Try Christian Watson. Those are all moves that are tempting, to be honest with you. Waddle and Kamara for Chase and Zach Moss. I would take Waddle and Kamara for Chase. I would take Waddle and Kamara. Waddle and Kamara. Yeah. Handcuff over Rashawn Sharps. A-Chain off waivers. A-Chain's phenomenal to grab off waivers, man, if he's still there. This one's from Greg Goose. Appreciate you. Drop Dotson for Dell. I'd rather have Dell right now. Easy question, to be honest. Matt coming in strong. I have a Laporta and Goddard. Would you drop Goddard or Pickens to grab Christian Watson? I probably would find another way. I want Christian Watson and Tank Dell. But I definitely grab both those guys. Goddard in a tight ends as weak as they are right now. You tell me you can't get rid of Goddard in a trade in a 2-for-1. I would try my best. I would drop a kicker, Matt. Buy yourself some more time and figure out another trade, but definitely got to get Christian Watson and Dell. But drop a kicker, bro, and then just buy yourself some time. Half PPR, Keenan Allen, Chase, add Charbonnet, Deontay Richardson. I mean, this team's got a lot of potential. Bijan, you need Bijan to do well, to do good things. Jordan Addison, Quentin Johnston's got good value. 2 flex. Herbert, Tyler Lockett. I'd probably trade Tyler Lockett and like a Jordan Addison, Tyler Lockett, and maybe there's not much to really trade here. Barks, Dots. This is kind of all abbreviated and smashed together. I think that's Barkley. So, do I try and upgrade Barkley a little bit? I do, personally. Bijan. I don't know if this is a trade or something in here. PPR, 2 flex. Is this like a second team or something? Like, what are we doing here? Herbs, Keenan Allen, Lockett, Javonte, Barkley, Dotson. A-Rich. Is Herbert A-Rich team? I'm trying to trade one of those quarterbacks and take advantage of it. Ryan, take advantage of it. Try and get some sort of upgrade somewhere. Definitely on that second team. I think those are 2 teams. Should I try and trade Ridley and Love for Diggs? Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I still like both of those. It might be too much. I feel like you could trade Love straight up for a player that can help you, like Achane, versus trying to sell Ridley as if he can't be as good as Diggs, and he kind of can be, but I guess at the end of the day, that's a good move if you feel more confident in that wide receiver situation, which I think all of us do. Should I offer Watson and Dotson for Ridley? I would take Ridley. I still think Ridley needs to be people need to not give away Ridley as if he's some, cheap, no longer wide receiver 1. Week 14, what moves to make? Geno, Skywalker, Gibbs, Brees, Roshan, Javonte, Garrett Wilson, C-Watt, DJ Moore, Dell. Dell is a nice tradable piece right now. Garrett Wilson, nice get rid of player, I suppose, if you can. Gibbs and Garrett Wilson for JT, for Kamara, and something for Bijan. Gibbs and Garrett Wilson and even like a Dell or something for Bijan is a risky but maybe profitable move. Ramirez dropping a $10 hauler, but nothing attached. Ramirez, I'm going to have to come back and look for another message or something. Please include the messages in there, guys. Otherwise, it's like you're going to wait a lot longer because I have to go search for it and I can't get out of the screen. It just sets it back a ton. Big Smith, what's good, my guy? 2-1. I'll come for you, Ramirez. Hang tight. Big Smith, what's good, my guy? 2-1. I have Love, Bijan, Swift, JJ Lamb, Ayuk, Christian Watson, Addison, JT, Dobbs. Any moves, thoughts? I mean, look, you got a great team. This is a sit and wait. There's nothing to do here. Addison and Waller upgrade somehow. I don't mean Andrews, whatever. Moss and Addison go after a player like, I don't even know if you have him on here, like Hall. Breece Hall would be a great go-get-in stash for you. Love is a fantastic quarterback, but you could maybe send a freaking Addison and Moss or Ayuk to upgrade Love into Hurts. Hurts would be a very nice target for that team. I love that. That would be fantastic. We got this one, trade AJB for Kamara and Mike Evans. I'd take Kamara and Mike Evans in a millisecond. That's a fantastic trade. Trevor, something without a message included. Trevor, appreciate the $2 hauler. I need to trade away Olave. Do you need to trade away Olave? The answer to that is no. I don't think you need to trade Olave. I need to trade away Olave. No, you don't need to trade Olave. Absolutely not. Bums with a $20 hauler. Bums, appreciate you dropping a magnificent wad on screen, my guy. Thank you so much, Bums.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20
Bombs doing it live. Bombs, appreciate you. Where were we? Oh, this is the wrong page. This is Acres News. Bums with a $20 hauler. Bums, appreciate you. 1 and 2 team is Tyreek Hill, Olave, Ridley, fantastic. Christian Watson, Ramondre. Christian Watson and Ramondre. Brian Robinson and Ramondre. Javonte and Ramondre. And T-Law are those. So T-Law, you kind of got to bank on, or you trade maybe a Brian Robinson and T-Law to upgrade. I like T-Law enough. I know people are ready to write him off. I like him enough, but do I like Anthony Richardson maybe a little more? Sure. Should I try and trade for Devontae Smith and CeeDee Lamb and Jerome Ford? But I'm giving up Hill and a running back. I'm not going to give up Tyreek Hill. CeeDee Lamb and Devontae Smith, I guess both of them for Tyreek Hill. It's intriguing, but you have Olave, Ridley, and Tyreek Hill. So do you really need it? And you got Christian Watson? I would say that probably isn't the right move for you. I think Tyreek Hill is balling out. And I like Devontae Smith and CeeDee Lamb, but I don't think I'm making this move. I think if I'm you, I'm potentially trying to go get, trade Brian Robinson and Javonte alone for one player. Trade Brian Robinson and Olave for Ridley, who's super undervalued. That's probably the move to make, Bums. I'm not making this move. I'm trying to upgrade into a Hurts or something like that before I'm doing anything like that. Appreciate your super chat. Trevor, thank you again for your $2 hauler. And Rogani, thank you again for your Olave question, but no. Trevor coming in strong with another super chat so I can get rid of that other one. Appreciate you. Superflex, Dak and Mark Andrews for Gibbs and Brian Robinson. I'd rather have Dak and Mark Andrews for Gibbs and Brian Robinson. I'd rather have Gibbs and Brian Robinson, but then I probably flip Brian Robinson. But that's close. I have Laporta and Lamar. Yeah, I stream Jimmy G. I don't stream Jimmy G. I don't stream Jimmy G at all. Absolutely not. But Lamar, good job there. I would definitely trade Dak. But Gibbs and Brian Robinson, but flip Brian Robinson after. I think he's got some pretty good value. How do you approach people that are 0-3 but don't want to trade? I don't know how. Those people just don't care. Like, I don't know. I would say just try and make the trade their idea. What do you want? Let them tell you what they maybe want, and you work a deal that way. I think people that are 0-3 are so petrified that they're going to get it wrong again and look even worse. I think they just, I don't know. I don't know what it is about some people that won't trade even when they're 0-3. If they've got players that can pop off and you can give them some shiny new toys from the waiver wire, that's probably the best approach. They like players that are producing. And if you see values on their bench that aren't producing, the problem is if you go to an 0-3 person and they got a player playing well, they don't want to give up that player. You can only probably buy low from that owner. Bijan plus what? Flowers, Pickens, Tankdale for Hill and Gibbs. I mean, Bijan, and honestly, to get Hill and Gibbs, you probably have to give up all of that. Like Tank and Pickens, Tank and Flowers, in Bijan. Going to be tough to get Hill for Bijan straight up, and Gibbs for that combination doesn't necessarily close the gap. So any two of those with Bijan, if you get that done, that's a great trade, Problem Bliss. My Christian Kirk and Mixon for Breece Hall and James Cook. I'd probably have Breece Hall and James Cook. Absolutely Breece Hall and James Cook. Much better side of the trade. Thank you. COD, appreciate your super chat here with a $10 hauler. COD to the moon.
To the moon.
COD, appreciate you. Where is it? Here it is. I traded away Mostert, Pacheco, Lockett for Waddle and Kamara before week 3. Fantastic. You won that trade. Rate your team. T-Law, loves your starter unless this is super flex, and that's still good. Kamara, James Cook, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Olave, Amari, Waddle. Very good team. Your team's off the hook. You stand pat on that and you wait for Kamara to come in this week and do you right. It's a great job. You've stayed afloat. You trusted the process. You waited on him. $10 hauler from Ramirez, thank you. I'm trying to get Calvin Ridley. The offer right now is Garrett Wilson and Pacheco. I love that. Or can I offer Breece Hall instead? Honestly, Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson for Ridley, just get something back, but I would rather keep Breece Hall. I'd be as firm as I can on that, just because I think Breece Hall can still be very, very, very good and very league winning, but it could take weeks. We have no clue, but I would do my best not to give up Breece Hall. And Pacheco did well. You should be able to sell that. 0-3, what happens if you go 0-4? Richardson, Chase, Amon-Ra, Garrett Wilson, Tank, Lennon, Breece, Javonte. Look, if you go 0-4, I mean, your best bet is to swing for Kups and JTs and guys that are going to come in strong and play out of their mind. Eckler. So, maybe you got to trade Chase for a JT or a Kupp and something right now and prepare for that. But, I mean, your team, you got some talent. I mean, Anthony Richardson, Chase, Amon-Ra, Garrett Wilson, and Brees for one better Kamara, JT. Garrett Wilson for Achane. Take a few. Oh, you got Achane. Take a few swings. Garrett Wilson and Brees for Waddle or Ridley on the cheap. Those are good moves. Appreciate you with your super chat. Relax. Thank you so much, Dustin. Appreciate you. Just traded Ridley and Swift for JT and Sun God. You smashed on that. Ridley and Swift for JT and well, you know what? I shouldn't say that. That's even. I don't know why I said that. Just traded Ridley and Swift for JT and Sun God. Easily arguable. I like the JT Sun God side. It's crafty, but you didn't crush them. Your team's absolutely good. Sit still. I do. I sit and I wait on this team. Saquon, I'm trying to trade away for you already traded Ridley, but like Eckler somehow, JT type of player. Using Barkley. I just don't trust Barkley right now. Sizzle coming in strong with the $5. I had to drop almost half of my fab on ETN for ETN and Chase last week. What do you mean fab? How you dropping fab on ETN and Chase? You can't tell me that those players got dropped. Worth an 18 guillotine. Okay. Already had Achane and sleeper as a sleeper. Team is stacked now. Awesome job, Sizzle. That's crazy. Those guillotine leagues are fun though. But at first, I'm like, what is he talking about? 12-team trade away Mostert and Derrick Henry for Aaron Jones and JT in a millisecond. I get out of that Derrick Henry game as fast as I can. Vaughn, Tua and Swift for Jacobs and Christian Watson. I would take Tua and Swift, and I would run from the veto police. Fantastic job. Gray coming in with a 10-team PPR, QB, AR5, and Fields. Wide receiver, Flowers, Amari, Tyreek Hill, Tank, Jacobs, and Bijan, K9. Any trade advice? Look, you got the running backs. I'm just trading away Jacobs. With Bijan and K9, you could afford to go after a wide receiver straight across, like Ridley, Waddle, Devontae Smith. Do that live. Do it now. AR5's your QB. Have faith in that process, bro. And definitely go get trade the running back for the wide receiver. It's the best way to get value anyway. Jacobs, Bijan, Bijan, Pollard, Flowers, Samuel, Debo Samuel's fantastic. Hawkinson, 49ers, Dell, benches, Watson, Purdy. Very, very good squad. Start to Watson, Dell, or Flowers. I'm probably starting Dell and Flowers for now. And if Watson's going to be unhampered or something, which I doubt we're going to hear that, you swap him out for probably Flowers. But I think we got to wait and see on that. We really have to hear something significant. What am I doing wrong? I'm 1-2, 12-man, 0.5. Got Love, Lawrence, start Love, Bijan, Kamara's and JT have been on your bench. You're not doing anything wrong. You've got JT and Kamara. You've got sleeping giant monsters on your bench, and you're still 1-2. You're not doing anything wrong. Wide receivers are Lamb, Debo, Ayuk. Sit on this team. Your team's going to be phenomenal. You're not doing a single thing wrong. I don't even make trades. Your team is set up to dominate. You got your 2 RBs coming back, one of them this week. You're going to explode. $10 hauler.
To the moon.
I love that team. People would dream to have that team. I don't care if you're 1-2. You're still in the mix. 1-2 is fine. 0-3. Should I trade my Olave and Javonte for JT and Waddle? Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. Team will be stacked. Go do that. That's a league-winning move, Miles. Absolute league-winning. Michael with the $5 hauler. Michael, I'm sorry about the delay. Michael, you still here? Michael, appreciate you. Got offered Deshaun Watson, Diggs, and Pierce for Fields, Olave, and Swift in a super flex. Boy. I guess like Olave, Diggs, you could try and argue that's somewhat even-ish, right? I'm sure most people would rather have Diggs, but Olave's going nuts. His quarterback situation is kind of a concern because you don't know what's going on fully or how it's going to the change is going to affect him, but he's a baller. He's dealt with it before. Swift over Pierce by a mile, and Fields, honestly, taking a gamble on Fields isn't crazy. I think I would probably say I'd rather have the Swift Olave side by a hair, But, Michael, it's certainly a gamble, and I know you're a gambling man, and I appreciate you, Michael. Hopefully you're still here. I'm sorry about the wait. 2 running backs. This is a superb at wide receiver already, and my 2 running backs starting are Brees and Gibbs. Trade AJ for Swift straight up. I'd probably rather have AJ Brown slightly. I'd move Flowers to wide receiver 3, and I would say I want AJ Brown slightly, just a little bit, not a ton. But I don't know that I like Swift a lot, but I think A.J. Brown, I feel like you should be getting Swift and like a Christian Watson on the cheap type of player for A.J. Brown. That's just kind of how I feel about that. Hey, Smitty, I got a few trades here. What would you do? Stroud and Robinson Jr. for Purdy and Algier. Hollywood for Pacheco. I don't like any of those. Those all make everybody worse. Those are not good trades. They don't really help anybody. I don't think. Purdy, Algier, Stroud, and I'd rather have Stroud and B-Rob over Purdy and Algier anyway. Like B-Rob, you could sell higher than that. And Pacheco, what is that? Purdy, Algier, Hollywood Brown for Pacheco. Hollywood Brown for Pacheco. I'd rather have Pacheco. Oh, and what's the lineup looking like? Zach, I don't know. You'd have to post the message. I don't have it in here anymore. There's nothing else attached to this, so. But I would say Brian Robinson, get more for Brian Robinson, Zach. I think he's getting a lot in terms of trade value, like Christian Watson type player across position. Also, record is 2-1, and I'm trying to get Achane, Musgrave, and Johnston off of waivers for Moore, Okonkwo, and Jones. I don't know that I drop DJ Moore. I'd rather drop my kicker and buy more time to make some moves or something versus dropping DJ Moore. But I certainly feel like Achane is the league winner, must get. Musgrave's great, Johnson's great, but I'm certainly going to drop my kicker before I make any of those moves. We got Glover and Ramirez, who dropped super chats without anything attached. Let me see if I can. I don't see Glover had a message, so Glover, appreciate you dropping your super chat without any question anyway. And then Ramirez, I think Ramirez came in with another super chat after. Yeah, they did. So thank you, Ramirez, for coming in and asking something. We're all caught up, guys. I would say I'm going to go a lot longer. I know we have 700 people in here, but I'm tired. It's 3 hours and 16 minutes. My mind is mush at this point. Appreciate you all. We'll probably, we won't be live again tonight unless breaking news happens, but we'll definitely be live tomorrow during the day, probably for breaking news or something. And then, or something somewhere tomorrow. And then, of course, the 8 p.m. show. I'm live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. I can't thank you all enough. Let's go Tennessee. Mike, you have 30 seconds. I don't care if you get it in time. 30 seconds, bro.
Hey, Smitty. Hey, would you trade CeeDee Lamb and Gibbs for Tank Dell and JT?
CeeDee Lamb and Gibbs? No, I'd rather CeeDee Lamb and Gibbs.
Okay.
I like the idea, but you just need a better player with JT. All right, later, pal. Not that I don't love Tank Dell, but it's just like CeeDee Lamb and Gibbs. Yeah, I mean CeeDee Lamb is still ranked really high, bro.
Okay. Yeah, I was just trying to think because I'm kind of light at. I think Gibbs isn't really performing that well.
Yeah, I hear you.
Hit or miss.
I hear you. I don't hate the idea though, but you still don't know what JT is. You have no idea.
Right.
All right, later, bro.
Okay.
All right, and then the final super chat here, the $10 hauler from Noah. Noah, appreciate you. Noah to the moon. Noah says, Smitty, 1 and 2, 12-team Goff, James Cook, Mostert, Hill, Smith, Kincaid, Judy, streaming, D, kicker, bench, Ayuk, Mixon, Hall, Addison, need a help. I'm trying to upgrade Goff if I could. I love Ayuk. Mixon, I'm trading. Hall, I'm holding. Addison. Oh, Richardson's your quarterback. So I'm putting Richardson. Don't put Goff in over Richardson. Richardson's your quarterback. Trade Mixon and freaking, I don't know. Mostert, I'm looking to trade. James Cook, I'm looking to trade. And Mixon, I'm looking to trade. And I'm trying my best to get, using an Addison or something, get into I mean, honestly, I'd trade Mostert and Mixon for JT and a wide receiver, like a Christian Watson. Go to the Christian Watson owner, see what they have at RB. Go see if you can get Achane and a player like Trade Mixon and Mostert for Achane and Ridley, like something like that. Hall I hold. I'm trying to see what other players you have here. James Cook for, find your anchor. JT, Kamara, Eckler is your anchor. You're starting off with James Cook or Mostert. What do you have to add in? Would I give up an Addison would I give up an Addison, Mixon, and Mostert for an Eckler? I would. Would I give it up for a Bijan? Probably. Mixon and Mostert for Bijan. I would probably do both for Bijan. I'd probably do both for JT. I'd probably try and do something crazy with JT though, like a 3 for 2 and get something else. Judy and Mostert for one player. Ridley's very cheap right now. Waddle's very cheap. Devontae Smith's very cheap. Aaron Jones is cheap. Eckler's cheaper than he should be. Keep hitting all those combinations. I know some of those aren't going to work, but everybody always says you can't get that Smitty in my league. It's crap. You can get it all the time. There's bad trades in every single person's league. Bob says, did you get to my super chat? I absolutely did, Bobby. I did get to your super chat. I said that yours, Elijah Moore, is probably middle of the pack wide receivers. And where do I rank them? It depends on who's available, but Elijah Moore on our waiver ranking here, we didn't even list him because he's been picked up already in most leagues, or he might still be available in a lot of them, but he didn't even crack the list. Where would I put him? Maybe around here? Sky Moore, Thielen, Mims. He's definitely not anywhere close to Dell or Atwell or Johnston. But, he's okay. He's solid. But appreciate you, Bobby, dropping another super chat. Bobby to the moon. Thank you, Bobby boy. Rock out. Final question. Hit me with it. Quick.
Yeah, if I can't get feeling, what's your thoughts on Palmer and Mims?
Probably Mims. I don't know. Palmer's okay. Quentin Johnson better than Palmer, in my opinion. They've already said, our deep threat's going to be Quentin Johnson. So I just think with Eckler coming back, I don't know, bro.
Okay.
All right. Appreciate you, Rock Out. Thank you. All right. Last super chat here. $10 hauler, 12 team, 2-1, CMC Pollard. You're solid in Hurts. You're solid there. Smith, Collins, Deontay Johnson, drop him. Ingram, Madison, garbage is Madison. Ingram's great. Collins is better than Deontay. Shark, Hopkins, Henry, Love. Traded Henry and Cook for CMC before week 1. It's unbelievable. Need to make a trade now. I would try and trade. I would go to the QB needy teams and trade Love. Love and who? Love and what? Devontae Smith, CMC, Pollard, Hurts. I'm not touching that. I'm just trying to find a QB needy team and say, here's Hopkins and Love. Give me Waddle. Here, give me Ridley. Give me a Devontae Smith type. You already have Devontae Smith. Give me JT. Give me Kamara. Give me Bijan. Give me Jahmyr Gibbs. Give Madison up and D-Hop for Jahmyr Gibbs, for Breece Hall. Stash him on your bench, bro. Though all those moves are very, very easy. The 2-for-1s are it's 2-for-1 season. Appreciate you all. See you later tomorrow. Thank you so much. You guys absolutely rock. All my $20 haulers, you're amazing. All my $1 haulers, $2 haulers, everybody that gave anything, even a thumbs up, you're amazing. See you all tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern. Chad became a loyal member for 3 months now. Chad, congratulations. Appreciate you. I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you all for everything. 8 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. Deuces.